subscribe, like the video, and, if possible, join Patreon. But if you don't have much money, you can support the channel by watching the novels on euroaudiobooks.com. Remember that you can participate in the polls so that your favorite novel gets published for free.
Forget it, I'll kill you. Your ability to read people's hearts makes me feel a little uncomfortable, although it will be a pity. However, before Lynn could answer, Acetus' expression changed again. As a girl with a Super S setting, except for the Emperor of the Empire, she hates all other uncontrolled and uncontrolled existences and will basically choose to destroy them. As for the agreement, she doesn't think it's useless in the face of absolute strength. The question is, can you beat me, Ace? Lynn frowned, then raised her hand and snapped her fingers. Room! He wants to change places and have a good fight with Ace. For this kind of strong queen type, all words are pale, and the most useful thing is to speak with strength. Let's see whose fist is bigger. Is this your Taigo? Ace saw that the clear light ball cover instantly expanded by more than 100 meters, and was about to ask for clarification, but suddenly his eyes blurred, and his body seemed to be out of control for an instant. In the operation space, no matter how strong the player is, if he doesn't have a powerful armament hockey body, he can only be manipulated at will in front of the op-op fruit ability. 081. Ace, don't stay too hard, or you'll lose face. 2 more. Slaughterhouse. Lynn activated the op-op fruit ability, originally only wanted to move the 2 of them outside the boat. But after easily moving hundreds of meters away from the Arc Proverbs, he suddenly realized, since Acetus does not have armament hockey body protection, he must not be able to resist his op-op fruit ability, so he wanted to give Ace a surprise, cut her in half or something to scare her. However, as soon as he saw the trick, Acetus' fighting reaction immediately responded, and the power of freezing broke out. I saw a circle of silver-white cold air swaying from her body, and silver frost and black ice suddenly appeared everywhere. This is a super explosion, the ultra-low temperature experience from Aokiji. Lynn faced it again, this kind of ultra-low temperature cold air that can faintly affect the operation of the law of heaven and earth, since it made his operating space show some signs of collapse. This 877 is already close to the awakening level of freezing power. Lynn squinted her eyes. A shave teleported over, and then there was a full-level armament hockey's entangled punch. Boom! Ace did not confront with a fist, but stretched out his hand, causing a huge, sharp icicle to form in front of him, stabbing at Lynn's punch. However, judging from her corresponding strength and reaction, she obviously underestimated Lynn's speed and power zone. So Lynn's punch not only shattered the huge ice that was urging her to transform, but also sent her flying, making her almost breathless in her chest, making her feel very depressed and uncomfortable. Hiss! Such a ferocious force? Ace's physical strength is not bad. When she was very young, she dared to go out alone to hunt and kill dangerous species, and even captured them alive. Even though she is not as perverted as the body-refining powerhouse here, she can still be considered strong. However, in front of Lynn today, she felt experienced. Lynn is not only stronger than her, but also faster than her. She's overwhelmed by Lynn in every way. If it weren't for the essence of demons, I might not be your opponent. Acetus' beautiful eyes flashed an ice-like evil spirit, but there was also a trace of long-lost enthusiasm rising. Next, her Taigu is going to be fully fired. Lynn's strength also made her blood boil. It's been a long time since I've met an equal opponent. It seems that this world is really, as he said, there are strong people like clouds, and it is better to be stronger than me. While thinking about it, Acetus Demon Essence activated. Essence of Demon's Pale Mouth. In just an instant, Ace condensed hundreds of extremely sharp ice thorns in the air. These ice thorns, under the power of the Devil's Essence, each one is like a fine steel, long knife. Whoosh whoosh. The launching of hundreds of sharp ice thorns is like a white, torrential rain. There's no room for Lynn to hide. Whether it's slashing or tempest kick, it's hard to be watertight. However, Lynn made a move that surprised Ace. He doesn't dodge or dodge, relying on iron body and armament hockey covering the whole body. He insists on this move. Boom bang bang bang. No ice spike can break his maxed armament hockey armor, not to mention the full-level iron body inside. Lynn's physical defense strength at this moment can be ranked in the top 6 in the pirate world. Your demon essence may be the strongest in your world, but here, it's not. Except for the 2 hidden skills of Mahapatmo and Binglon Admiral Army. Don't show off the others. Lynn yelled loudly, rushing forward, ST to the front of Ace. Boom! However, what greeted him was a gigantic hockey puck. Essence of Demons, Origin Hail. This is a very powerful ultimate move of Acetus. From the perspective of the size of the hailstone, it is not inferior to the large meteorite summoned by the monster Uchiha Madara in the Hokage world. At this time, Ace, when the Hail of Origin was formed, turned around twice, gracefully like a dancing elf, flashed behind the Hail of Origin in an instant, and then suddenly clicked. Boom! The Hailstone of Origin accelerated and hit Lynn, who was rushing hard. This is the quintessence of the devil. The release of skills is too fast. Such a big move can be released directly without storing energy. Lynn is a bit outrageous. However, let him be impressively still behind. Acetus was on it and unexpectedly released another Hailstone of Origin that was 2 or 3 times bigger. It's literally a duplicate of Uchiha Madara's Rinnegan Occult, Tengai Shinsei, and with a much stronger damage range. Damn it, are you going to bury my boat? The last Origin Hailstone has a diameter of more than 1,000. If it falls suddenly like this, if the Proverbs of the Ark more than 1,000 meters away does not fly up, it might be overturned by the huge waves. As for the girls on the Ark Proverbs, because of the loud noise, they all ran out to watch the excitement when the first Hailstone of Origin appeared, all screaming loudly. Some even took out their cameras and took pictures on the spot. Then, they discovered that their own captain was among them. When did this captain, who went back to his room and shut himself off, run outside? Moreover, he is still fighting with such a beautiful and sexy beauty. Damn, this stinky captain is entangled with other women again. What a scumbag. It seems that I can't consume his energy at all. When we were in Sky Island, everyone was pretty much the same. Lynn, I was wrong. I've underestimated you. Tsunade, who had just changed into new clothes in his room, spat secretly with a bit of resentment, wondering if he should let go a little more next time, however. When the second, larger hailstone with a diameter of more than 1,000 meters appeared, the women realized that the problem was serious. Damn it! Wow! No way! Demeter, Fomin Rai, quickly transforms. Tsunade also covers armament hockey with both fists ready to shoot. And Ma Yin's pumpkin cannon is gathering energy, ready to launch a 0.5 thunderstrike. However, the next moment, when Ma Yin found out who was fighting Lynn, she was suddenly stunned. No! How could it be her? Impossible? She even subconsciously pointed the muzzle of the pumpkin cannon at Ace. At this time, clang! Lynn pulled out the fine steel long sword, and the power and armament hockey surged in, causing the whole long sword to clang and clang, resounding throughout the sky. Then, he cut out ultimate sword. Crack! The black sword light rose suddenly, piercing the sky, bringing a clear and loud cracking sound. And the 2 extremely huge hailstones of origin that overlapped and fell were cut in half by this unparalleled sword light. Boom, boom, boom. And in the next second, the sword key erupting vertically and horizontally cut the 2 huge ice balls into pieces, and they fell like ice rain. 082. Ace. Lynn beat me. Be my master. 3 more. This is a slash. How could it be so strong? Even Ace was taken aback by this sword. Hail of Origin casts a spell quickly, catching Lynn off guard. Of course, that's because Lynn's speed is too fast and she didn't think she could hit Lynn, so she used a lot of original power to make the second Origin hailstone so huge that it could affect the ship next to it. This is also the reason why Lynn had to accept this superimposed big move. Unexpectedly, Lynn's toughness has subverted her cognition. With just 1 sword strike, she broke through the stacking moves she was so proud of. Lynn, funny, you're so funny. Ace yelled hysterically. At this time, she has entered a state of a little madness. She also drew her sword. Beat me. Be my captain, Even my master, Ace, was covered in a surge of cold air, and the silver-white cold air continued to overflow, turning the sky into an icy field. With her full abilities, she can easily stay in the air and even fly with only the frost particles in the air. She continued generously. Since I got Taiga 14, the essence of the devil, I have experienced more than 100 battles, but I, Ace, have never lost. Not even a decent general. As long as you can defeat me today, not to mention being your obedient crew member, I can give you my whole body and let you manipulate it as you want. Acetus's face was full of crazy excitement, and he even twisted slightly. However, the strange thing is that despite this, her beautiful appearance in the eyes of everyone is not discounted, but has an inexplicable wild taste, which adds another layer of charm to her. Ace, it's too easy to defeat you. Let me use the simplest trick to make you surrender completely. 10 meters in front of Ace, Lynn stood with a sword in his hand, smiling at Cade. Then, Lynn looked at Acetus' eyes and suddenly opened them. In an instant, Ace felt as if his heart had been slammed by an unknown force. Boom! This wave of heavy hammers put her whole body into a crash state in an instant. At the same time, there was also an inexplicable dull sound in the entire sky, like thunder walking, shaking the world in anger. Oh no! It is true that thunder has appeared. The little black and red thunder spread from in front of Lynn to Ace. Lynn's full-level Conqueror's Haki has opened up, but Lynn held back and didn't go all out. He was afraid that Acetus lacked spiritual strength, so he couldn't resist his own Conqueror's Haki attack that locked on the individual. Yes, Lynn's Conqueror's Haki at this time is locked to Ace Death Blast. In just an instant, the Conqueror's Haki swept out like a golden torrent, submerging Ace. An unprecedented sense of crisis arose in Ace's heart, making her pull out from the state of trance just now, and without the slightest hesitation, immediately launched the ultimate demonic stunt. Mahabadama is one of Ace's best skills. Once used, freeze a piece of time and space for at least a time. However, she did not have this opportunity. Lynn's powerful Conqueror's Haki, ignoring all the defenses she built, directly shook her spirit and heart, causing her eyes to go black immediately, and she fell from the sky. Snapped. Acetus didn't wake up in time until he fell into the sea. It seems that she was really caught by Lynn's concentrated Conqueror's Haki attack. Room batten, Lynn stretched hundreds of meters of operating space and volleyed to ingest the unlucky guy. Lynn won't go down and pick her up with her own hands. Who knows if she will cheat herself? This battle is related to who will stand up and become the master and the boss in the future, so it is better for him to be more cautious. Wow! Ace, who was completely wet, was quickly picked up by him and brought back to the boat. Lynn, who is she? Tsunade has rolled up his sleeves. The veins on his forehead are visibly pulsating. If Lynn gives a bad answer, she may be rude. Just 10 minutes ago, you had a 300-round fight on the bed with your old lady, and you talked a lot about love. And 10 minutes later, you beat another woman to death, and even knocked her out and brought her back to plot against you? Scumbag, you are too much. Brother Lynn, she? Who is she? Even Fengyin Rai looked at Lynn eagerly. With the continuous boarding of all kinds of beautiful crew members, even if she only has Lynn in her heart and doesn't care too much, she is still a little anxious and troubled right now. Whoa! Erina didn't seem to be able to accept it either, and imitated the usual Ma Yin and started humming. And Ma Yin is even more direct. Lynn, give her to me. Let me deal with her. Please. No. Lynn said no. However, please, Lynn, as long as you agree to my request, I will be at your service forever. I will never return to my world. 500 plop. Ma Yin actually knelt down for Lynn on the spot. If Lynn hadn't helped her up quickly, she might have kowtowed in the next step depending on her posture. Ma Yin, what are you? Suddenly, a light flashed in Lynn's mind, and the surprise turned into astonishment, and then became clear. I go. Forgot this one. It was also at this time that Lynn remembered. Ma Yin is a night attack killer in Jiangxi world, and the killer organization Night Attack is exactly a secret force established by the Revolutionary Army to overthrow the Imperial rule. Ace is the peerless Admiral Army supporting the Empire in the last days. Once Ace the #1 general of the Empire, is killed, the collapse of the Empire will be accelerated. It will be much easier to attack the Imperial capital. Let's put it this way. As long as Ace is dead, the Revolutionary Army will dare to attack the Imperial capital directly and change the dynasty. Lynn, I'd give my life for another. Please. Ma Yin still did not stop her pleading, but Lynn obviously rejected her. No, she is our partner now, not the strongest general in the Empire anymore. Damn. Lynn, do you know what you're doing? This woman is a demonic executioner who killed millions of people. Ma Yin was very excited and angry. Her little face turned red. Of course I know. Lynn was calm. 083. Mahabharata. Shall rise, Super God awakens. For more, Lin Yu. Main is furious. As I told you before, I, Lin, will change your future, change the ending of the night attack, and make the decaying empire a dust of history. As for Ace, now he has become my friend. Our little partner is a combatant. In the future, we must help each other, and we cannot fight and kill. Lin reached out and touched her little head to comfort her, making her blush, and then stretched out her hand to open it. Humph, no matter what you say, I, Ma Yin, will never let her go. If she doesn't die, our night attack, and even the Revolutionary Army may be destroyed by her hands. Lin, you are far from I know the power of the Empire, and I don't understand Ace's loyalty to the Empire. Although Lin stopped and knew that Ace was a new addition to the crew, Main still did not give up. She knew all too well the horrors of Acetus. Once Ace single-handedly wiped out a country in the blink of an eye. Therefore, the Empire also has such rumors. Ace is not dead. The Empire should not. I know what you want to do, but limited to the agreement. You can't kill her. Lin sighed. As long as the agreement is signed, this ship will be one of our own, and there will naturally be a clause that prohibits mutual harm. Humph. Even if I can't kill her, I won't make her feel better. Min was a little discouraged, and she also said Lin well, and to start, kind of accept reality. Perhaps Ace, who is his partner, will no longer be the general of the Empire. Will something change? But at this time, room, Mahapatma. Two low groans exploded at the same time. What followed was that the clear light and the light blue light were intertwined thousands of times in an instant, and the powers represented by the two kinds of light were infecting each other, forming a strange space suddenly, covering the entire arc motto. Interesting. You are so interesting, Lin. Acetus actually woke up. She was able to subdue the essence of demons that made many powerful people crazy, and her spirit was naturally strong. In addition, Lin kept her hands, so it was normal to wake up. Mahapatma, Taiga's secret technique that can freeze time and space. Too bad Acetus didn't catch Lin. Lin actually ran away first. She could sense Lin's breath, already 200 or 300 meters away. There is also the space there. It seems that the frozen power of Mahapatma seems to be a little unstable. Shinki's spatial ability. It's really an eye-opener. Ace touched Ma Yin's small face with his hand and shook his head. Such a cute girl. Why did she join such a boring revolutionary army? Wow. All of them are peerless beauties, my master. It seems that you, like me, are a person with a strong desire to conquer. She looked around and sighed. Gala clang. A slight abnormal sound came from not far away, making her look curiously and let out a huh. It turned out that Fengyin Rai's body was flowing in bright light, and he didn't know what was happening. But one thing is certain. The frozen time and space around her became a little unstable. Another fun little guy. It seems that I am in the right world. Ace's eyes widened in surprise, and he wanted to reach out to touch Fengyin Rai. In the next second, she seemed to sense something and laughed. Okay, I'm just kidding. My dear master, don't be angry. Then she snapped her fingers to remove the power of Mahapatma. What nonsense. But I'm very interested in your secret skill. Let's discuss it together when we have time. The next moment, Lin returned to the original place, as if she hadn't moved. Just now, Mahabharata versus Surgery Space engaged in some space competition involving the laws of this world, allowing Lin to gain some experience in this area that she has never had before. So he also got a little excited. This Acetus is really an existence that people love and hate. Damn it, You lackey of the Empire, die. As soon as Mahabharata was released, Main set up a pumpkin cannon to bombard Ace. You rascal. It looks like you haven't been beaten before. Even Tsunade couldn't help it. Anyone who is frozen in time and space, like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered, will not be happy. If it wasn't for Lynn's follow-up of Ying Rihizai, which made Mahapatmo appear unstable, I'm afraid they might not be able to realize that they were frozen. Fortunately, Lynn took a lot of effort and finally calmed them all down. Lynn, I listened to you, by the way. Should I wear a collar and officially become your prisoner? Let you have a pleasant training if you don't like it. You can also choose us to have a normal but vigorous love. But Ace looked like a little girl, hugging his arm, very affectionate. She accepted the defeat just now and was willing to take the bet and let Lynn be her master. Let's talk about this later. Under the eyes of the women who were about to kill, Lynn was a little scared. Don't talk about others. Just look at Tsunade's expression, like a tigress who wants to eat people. Okay, let me formally introduce you. Ace, our combatant. Lynn gave them an introduction, but after the introduction, the atmosphere on the spot was a bit weird. It seems that in the future, don't think about having a peaceful day. Well, I wish I had known how to choose my king. Lynn has a headache, but not without surprises. Just when Ace released Mahapatmo just now, he actually activated Fenji Inri and another sleeping angel device in his body. Fenji Inri has two extremely powerful angelic weapons, Demeter, weather weapon, and Kairos, time-space device. Right now, Fenji Inri's angel power has reached 48% under Lynn's continuous strengthening. According to the system, when it reaches 60%, there is a chance to Zhao to activate a stronger and higher-level space-time device. Unexpectedly, it was activated unexpectedly today. In this case, Lynn can then use more points to strengthen Xiao Rai. Lynn currently has 50,000 points, which is very generous. In time, another Admiral-level combat power will inevitably rise. Thinking of this, Lynn almost laughed out loud. Lynn, you come with me? After the atmosphere calmed down and Ace room was arranged and moved in, Tsunade dragged Lynn to her room. It's not that good, is it? It's broad daylight. Besides, do you still have the strength? Lynn seemed to have guessed what she was going to do and was a little speechless. When a woman gets jealous, she will really lose her mind. I told you to go outside and bring the woman back. This time, you don't want to leave a single drop. At this time, Tsunade doesn't have the bearing of a princess from the Senju family. She is a tigress protecting her food. 084. Smoker's decision. Poor Lynn. Strange fog, fifth watch, in front of the Gate of Justice. A marine warship is anchored a kilometer away. Smoker was smoking a big cigar, standing shoulder to shoulder with Abbott at the bow. At this moment, the two were looking up at the situation above the Gate of Justice. Because the workers who repaired the Gate of Justice have not been there for long, the repair work has just begun. So the two of them can still see the 5 characters, celestial dragons or dogs. Are you sure to continue the hunt? ABT reached out to take a big cigar and lit it up to smoke. If you don't chase me, why don't you go back to East Blue? Besides, Naval Headquarters didn't order me to go back. Smoker frowned, and his words were obviously not as ambitious as before. Right now, he is really in a dilemma. If he goes back to East Blue for nothing like this, he will definitely be ridiculed mercilessly by some enemies. Moreover, the prestige that he had managed to build up in the Logtown Marine branch would also be destroyed. But as the hunt continued, it was obvious that he and ABT were no match for him at all. Not to mention Lynn. Even a few crew members, Smoker thinks he can't beat him. Damn it, who excavated armament hockey? It's horrible. For 50 then, he complained about the inventor of armament hockey inexplicably. If there is no armament hockey, then he, who has the ability of Logia Devil Fruit, can easily run across the Grand Line. And Lynn is nothing to worry about. I've decided, I'm going to the G5 branch of New World. After a while, Smoker finally made up his mind. Give up the pursuit of Lynn for the time being, and go to New World to hone. Huh? Are you out of your mind? Do you, Smoker, know where the G5 branch is? Abbott rested his forehead and was speechless. Marine is a branch of G5 in New World. This branch is not so much a branch of Marine, as it is the most wonderful existence in this world. All the members there were exiled there by the upper echelons of the Marine because they ignored discipline and acted according to their own will. These Marines have always acted brutally, sometimes even endangering the reputation of civilians. Their reputation is extremely bad, and it can be said that they are a branch of all villains. Even Naval Headquarters Marine Ford, the control of this branch, is often unable to do what it wants. That kind of place, who goes to a normal Marine? I know. Only that kind of place can make me grow faster. Smoker's eyes turned fierce. To keep up with this Lynn, the regiment has a chance to deal with him. Abbott sighed. I'm afraid this Lynn will become your demon for the rest of your life. The capital of Seven Waters, the secret foothold of the news of the world. Wow! Big sister, during this period of time, we are responsible for the traffic of the newspaper. I have been nominated as a senior reporter candidate. It's great to be able to hang out with the boss. Meeting the boss is the greatest luck in my life, Lorente. Big sister, you should be able to be promoted from a special level candidate soon, right? TSK. Our world news agency is so big, and there are only 9 special level reporters. Yeah, I've also heard that our boss, Morgans, has already decided on the number of special reporters. There are at most 10. If the people behind want to be promoted, if they don't make amazing contributions, they have to wait for the 10 someone in my group has stepped back. I also heard that the treatment of a special reporter will be 10 times that of a senior reporter. There are also privileges provided by various newspapers. Woo. I'm so envious of the boss. Things haven't been settled yet, so don't talk nonsense. I'm still a special candidate. Siebel's Gate of Justice trio are celebrating happily during the afternoon tea time. During this period, whether it was Lynn sweeping the CPO, killing Eni's lobby, engraving the Gate of Justice, fighting Marine Admiral Aokiji, offering a reward of 1.3 billion. Each one is extremely explosive news, strongly promoting the sales of the world economic news, charging towards the peak of the redhead, becoming the 4 emperors a few years ago, and even surpassing it. Therefore, in order to commend them, the President Morgans insisted on doubling their 2-month bonuses by 20 times. Boo. The 3 of them were happily enjoying dessert when the phone bug on Siebel's body rang. Siebel took out the phone bug from her bag and was a little surprised when she saw that her boss, Morgans, was calling. Hello? President Morgans, hello? Siebel quickly connected to say hello. As the conversation continued, the two of Lorente could clearly see a look of ecstasy blooming on the face of their boss. After Siebel hung up the phone, the two of Lorente carefully inquired about it. It's nothing. It's just that the president personally notified me, congratulating me on becoming a special reporter. Siebel said, pretending to be calm. FK. Boss, you are too strong. Big sister, you have to treat me to a big meal tonight. This is a special reporter. The two of Lint immediately stood up and shouted. It's okay to have a big meal, but after you finish eating, you need to pack up and follow Lynn. The president gave us a new task this time. He hopes that we will follow Lynn closely and not leave even one step. It is best to be on his ship. Be the reporter on his ship. As soon as Lynn was mentioned, Siebel's eyes began to light up. Didn't Mr. Lynn tell us? He doesn't seem to welcome us to go up. Look at what you said. Where there is a will, there is a way. As long as our boss can handle Mr. Lynn, everything will be fine. But I feel that Mr. Lynn doesn't welcome us 2 men to come up. Hiss? It's very possible. After all, the crew on Mr. Lynn's ship are all beautiful women. Damn it. I'm going to envy and hate again. Then let's switch to logistics, and then find 2 beautiful girls to serve as subordinates for the eldest sister. This method works. Morning. In the restaurant of Art Proverbs. It seems that the atmosphere is a bit awkward. But the most embarrassing thing was Lynn with her mouth full of food and her bulging cheeks. However, Tsunade and Ace, who are holding his hand and feeding him, ignore this, and they are in a fierce competition. Both want to win the matter of feeding Lynn. It's so miserable. It seems that the blessing of Ki Run is not so good. Humph. That's how a scumbag should end up. Hurry up and speed up to the Shura field. Ma Yin looked gloating. Secretly, she wished Tsunade would fight with Ace, and then she would find a chance to use the pumpkin cannon to give Ace a hard shot. Brother Lin, on the other hand, Fomin Rai had a worried expression on his face. Hey, Let me tell you, don't waste my food, okay? Nakiri Erina couldn't take it anymore. Wow. Come out and take a look. There's a lot of fog on the sea. It's so strange. The sky was clear just now, and the sun was fierce. Siebel's voice came from the front cab. 085. Ma Yin wants to hit Acetus. Isn't the celestial dragon's money my Lynn's? The two branches of G5 and G1 were confused in the last chapter, and it has been revised. The author who hit the street is really miserable, and there is no feedback from readers. I take this opportunity to thank the gentleman who subscribed and supported. Thank you. The author will try my best to make you happy. Sibel came on board alone yesterday. Originally, all the women were basically against it, but because of Lynn's insistence, there was no way. Therefore, Siebel is very interesting. When she gets on the ship, she is no longer a special reporter of the World News Agency, but the most diligent and restless maid of the Lynn pirates. Right now, she even rushed to do the job of the helmsman so that everyone could have breakfast together. Strange thought. Hearing what she buyers said, Lynn and the others were a little surprised and hurried out to see what was going on. Wow, it really is. It's so white that you can't see it. What a thick fog. Sailing in the mist. It seems a bit romantic, yeah. Romance your head. If the boat hits the rocks, we're game over. Foaming Rai pulled the corner of Lynn's clothes. Brother Lynn, do you want me to create a storm and get rid of these zero key? Lynn seemed to think of something and shook her head. No need. If the guess is correct, my group should have arrived at the Devil's Triangle in the original book. Gecko Moria, 7 warlords of the sea, is hidden inside. The guy at the moment is hiding inside to accumulate his zombie army, plotting to dominate the One Piece. Gecko Moria's strength should belong to the bottom level in 7 warlords of the sea, similar to that of the sand crocodile. So Lynn didn't regard him as a threat. But if Gecko Moria dares to mess with him, he really doesn't mind splitting his thriller bark in half. Besides, the Devil's Triangle is huge, and Lynn doesn't think she's lucky enough to run into it. Sister Zybier, let me come. Go and have breakfast. Seeing that the sailing environment is a bit complicated, Foaming Rai will immediately take over Siebel. What's the matter? Let's fly directly. Lynn gave her a word. The most powerful part of Arc Proverbs is a spaceship specially built for flying. Although Enel still has some unfinished work on this spaceship, and the icebergs have not repaired it perfectly, but the flying ability can still last for a certain period of time. Even when flying, it will take a lot of effort to resist the lightning storm, and the protection of the hull is far less sturdy than those top-quality ships of the Atom God Tree. Therefore, Lynn and the others often choose to sail in the water. Foaming Rai nodded solemnly. At the same time, Lynn also asked the girls to be vigilant and ready to respond quickly at any time. He didn't want any accidents to happen to his family's ship before entering the new world. In the cab, Hio, you can really bear it, that ace, who clings to our captain all day long, will eat up our captain sooner or later until there is no scum left. Ma Yin, who has bad intentions, is accompanying Foaming Rai, who is at the helm. Sister Ma Yin, no matter what Brother Lin does, I will not object to it. Whatever he does is right for me. However, Foaming Rai's answer made Ma Yin very upset. Oh my God, what age is this? And there are such submissive infatuation seeds. Hiyori, a docile and well-behaved girl like you can't win her own happiness. You have to take the initiative. I'm really worried for you. Obviously, you came first. You were the first to accompany the captain to start from scratch. Why did it become like this? It's not because you didn't fight. If you don't fight in the future, with the captain's scumbag virtue, there will be more and more women around him. By then, you may not even rank 10th with him. So listen to me today. Let's deal with that goddamn Acetus together. This brat is too much. Ma Yin clenched her small fist and gritted her teeth. No matter how hard she tries, she will hit Acetus. Otherwise, I'm sorry for those comrades in the Revolutionary Army who died on the way to liberate the Empire. Huh, Sister Ma Yin? It seems that there are ships approaching us quickly. Not good. They are still accelerating, and they have broken through the recognized safe distance for sailing. At this time, Foaming Rai seemed to have discovered something and quickly warned. Bad intentions, eh? Then let me sink them. Ma Yin was in a fit of anger. Once she heard that someone was going to make trouble on her side, she couldn't bear it anymore. After only a second or two, she was in the new lookout room on top of the ship next to the golden chimney. Through the scope, she could find a small boat rushing towards her at a fast speed. There were several men with knives and guns on it, who looked very vicious. It must be a damn pirate. Take a shot at me. Without the slightest hesitation, Maine pulled the trigger. Bayou. Boom! The small boat was instantly sunk by energy bullets fired from the pumpkin cannon. But it seems that it is not that simple. Immediately, Ma Yin saw some surviving ones fly up using moonwalk and were about to land on her own boat. Asked for flowers. Damn it, didn't I eat when I was the king of sniper? Ma Yin was furious, and the pumpkin cannon fired several times, shooting down those unlucky ghosts from the sky. Only one person barely landed on the bow of the ark without an arm. However, before he could stand still, he was knocked over by a lightning strike from the sky. Fomin Rayas made a move. What? Are you people from the world government? Responsible for transporting the heavenly gold to the holy land of Mariehua? Then you were robbed by a huge ship halfway? Lynn, who came over after hearing the news, asked all the questions easily because the other party was arrogant and arrogant. You are the captain? Since you know the world government, it will be easy. Your ship and everyone, our world government has now requisitioned. If you dare to resist, you will be wanted and hunted down by the world government in the future. I order you, your female relatives are very beautiful. Maybe they can be favored by the creators. However, that guy had one arm broken, but he was still extremely arrogant. Seeing that Lynn was surrounded by peerless beauties, he even thought of wanting to rob and go back to honor his own Weilong master. Lynn ignored him, turned around, and said to the women, "Let's help them grab the gold from revolving heaven. I'm really sorry for what happened a while ago, world government. This face, we will earn it back for them." What happened a while ago? Sorry, world government? What did you guys do? The world government official was a little curious. It's nothing, just destroy your Eni's lobby. Ah, you or Lynn? Forgive me, Lynn's big marriage. Finally, that guy came to his senses and quickly knelt down to beg for mercy, kowtowing endlessly. How could he dare to be arrogant at all? Lynn even dared to attack Eni's lobby, but he didn't think that the other party would put world government in his eyes. Throw him into the sea and let him join his companions. Lynn waved his hand and let Xiao Rai throw him into the sea with the wind. Heavenly gold is the protection fee paid to celestial dragons by the member countries of the world government every year, and the amount of each amount is quite a lot. And I heard from that guy that the ship he escorted contained gold from more than a dozen countries. Although Lynn is not short of money now, but thinking that he will be responsible for various expenses of more than a dozen beauties in the future, he feels that he will never have too much money. Otherwise, how to maintain the beautiful appearance and happy life of the crew, wives, and the family. 086. King of Stinky Rolls. Ma Yin said that I am very brave. 2/5. It was easy knowing that Gecko Moria was nearby. After all, a thriller bark, a giant ship comparable to an island, would reveal a few traces even if it was covered by fog. Besides, in order to find out where they are as soon as possible, Lynn asked Xiao Haiori to create a Namikaze storm, which dispersed the fog in a large area. Because I knew from Lynn that the ship I was looking for would be one of the largest in the pirate world, so everyone was on the deck at the bow, waiting for the thriller bark to appear, gaining insight. As the third storm of Fongin Rai blew up, somewhere in the distance, a gigantic black shadow finally appeared. It seems to be an island that looks a bit weird. It is surrounded by a high wall, and there is a huge mouth with teeth bared on the front. In the sky, there is a gigantic giant sail. It features a pair of fiery onion skulls with flaming bat wings. The 363 pirate logo on this giant sail illustrates the identity of this island. It is the thriller bark of Gecko Moria. Ma Yin, knock down the main entrance of the mouth. This gate is too small. Our boat can't get in. Lynn gave the order right away. Obey, my dear captain. Ma Yin immediately set up a romantic fort pumpkin and began to accumulate energy, ready to expand. Gala, however, her pumpkin cannon was quickly sealed by a piece of ice. Why do you keep pointing your gun at me? You little boy who attacked at night. Acetus was also a little annoyed. Today, she also knows the identity of Ma Yin, but except for Lynn, She doesn't care about other people on the boat at all, so she doesn't care about many things. But Ma Yin always wants to plot against her. This is unbearable. Humph. You were the one who stood in front of me first. Please don't let the villain file a complaint first. Ma Yin, who was discovered of the conspiracy, quickly shook off the Xianbing, aimed at the giant door with a big mouth, and gathered her strength again. Forget it, children are not sensible. Lynn quickly came out to be a peacemaker. Boom! In the next second, Ma Yin shot out a straight-line shooting laser that spanned thousands of meters of sea surface. Boom! Without the slightest surprise, that big-mouthed giant door was reduced to powder. Not only that, the ferocious energy of the laser ignited all the ships behind the giant gate, igniting a raging fire. At this time, there were some ghostly cries and wolf howls from the sea of fire. It should be some people who have been taken away by Gecko Moria, have nowhere to go, and are temporarily hiding on the hulk. Hey, stay calm. Don't burn the boat containing the gold in the sky. Lynn was a little anxious when he saw this. Fortunately, there was a small day, which immediately brought a heavy rain and extinguished the fire on those ships. Soon, the ark came to the landing place of this giant island. It only took a few minutes for Lynn and the others to find out the world government ship. After all, the world government's cross logo is a bit conspicuous among the many ships. But the boat was empty. The heavenly gold on board was removed. At this time, the people who had their shadows yelled, telling Lynn to leave quickly. Let's go. This is the territory of the 7 warlords of the sea, Gecko Moria. If you don't go, your shadow will take it too. It's too miserable without a shadow, and you can't even see a ray of sunlight. Otherwise, it will be wiped out. Hurry up and find Marine. Only Marine can save us. Please, don't go up. You are not his opponent. Shadow Fruit is invincible. Lynn didn't bother to care about those unlucky ghosts. Turned around and announced an appointment with Zhong-an. Which one of you is going to get the money back? The reward for this mission, 200 points. Oh, me. Lynn, if you still have some conscience, give it to me. Cut. It's only 200 points. Who do you look down on? At least 500 points. As soon as they heard that there was a reward of 200 points, the girls immediately became restless. Lynn, leave it to me. I can handle it all by myself. It doesn't cost a single point. At this time, Aokiji said invitingly, VD Ace, you were trying to kill people. Do it even if you don't need points? It's really disgusting. I, Ma Yin, have already told you that the lackeys of the Empire and the accomplices of the capitalists have never been good people. The girls exploded. But Lynn nodded and approved Aokiji's request. Damn, Wang BD, capitalists also stink. Look at him nodding so fast. He looks like he doesn't want others to work for him for free. Bad or not? It's really sad that the strongest general of the noble empire has degenerated into this state and let the stinky man wantonly drive him. That's right. I'll record this passage and show it to the Night Raiders. Huh? Damn Ace. You pay me for the camcorder? Just when everyone was indignant, there was a timid voice. Brother Lin, I don't need points. Fongin Rai. Everyone can only support their 4 heads. What else can they say? Xiao Rai, I asked you to take the initiative. Not this kind of initiative, you idiot. Mane was also speechless. Now that Lin has these 2 die-hard loyalists, it means that the unbreakable proletarian alliance has an irreparable rift. Okay, stop making trouble. It's important to do business. This time I'll let you take action, mainly because I want you to hone your fighting power. Although Gecko Moria's strength is not as good as yours, their abilities are very strange. Even you, there is still a possibility of being recruited. Go to Ace. Lin asked Ace to lead first, then decided to leave Erina to guard the ship at home, and the rest followed him and then landed and killed the palace where Gecko Moria was. Humph. I, Ma Yin, will not lose to this lackey of the Empire. I must get the first kill. Brave girl, go for the duck. That's right. This Aokiji is defiant every day. This time we must kill her vigor. At the beginning, the girls were aggressive, as if they were about to sweep the world. But with the dilapidated and decayed scenes such as broken walls and skeletons along the way, as well as various zombies and ghosts appearing under the dark mist, most people can't take it anymore. Oh my God! What the hell is this place? Lynn, let's go back. Don't go in again. There must be Pluton living in it. Ma Yin was so frightened that she jumped onto Lynn's body, hugging the tree trunk tightly like a monkey. What left Lynn speechless was, Xiao Rai also jumped up in fright and hugged his back. Xiao Rai is not Ma Yin. Although her figure is not as domineering as Tsunade, she is still D-level. So Lynn could clearly feel the two oppressions, and her heartstrings swayed inexplicably. And the girly fragrance that Ma Yin smells good in front is lingering on the tip of the nose at this time, coupled with the jade's soft and warm fragrance in her bosom. Longevity. Lynn, what are you thinking? Stay here. At this time, Ma Yin, who hugged him tightly like a big octopus, inevitably noticed some abnormalities. Then come down quickly. Lynn herself was a little embarrassed. Since being with Tsunade, my self-control seems to have weakened. I won't go down. It's terrible here. Main blushcade. Lynn is speechless. You're down, aren't you? P.S. There are not many copies of Moria. Only 2 chapters. 087. Ma Yin. This Princess Mononoke looks very weak. Let me do it 3/5 because Ace opened the way ahead. Anyone who dared to block was frozen into ice statues by her. So everyone went smoothly. However, when seeing the palace where Gecko Moria is, the entire thriller bark was inexplicably shaken. Immediately afterwards, the sky dimmed, and a strong wind came from nowhere, howling nonstop. At the same time, there are black shadows flying in the sky or on the ground at an extremely fast speed, gathering towards a certain place. What a spooky sight. It's a shadow. Shadows are gathering towards the palace. Wait, that palace seems to be completely frozen, the girl shouted, and Lynn squinted her eyes, looking at the huge palace that was frozen into a huge block of ice. With such a summoning shadow, he knew that Gecko Moria was about to open up. The next time you face this kind of miscellaneous fish, it's better not to use nuclear weapons like a cetus. It's really a scare to scare the opponent to death. Lynn was a little helpless. Sudden boom! Inside the frozen palace, a violent explosion suddenly occurred and began to collapse. And the figure of the person fighting inside began to appear. Hiss! When they saw who Ace was facing, even Ma Yin and the others gasped. I saw that the guy Ace was fighting was huge, 30 to 40 meters tall, looked like a 2-horned demon with cross stitches from head to neck, and was wearing a gothic costume with a bat-like 14 collar. Where have Ma Yin and the others seen such a weird monster? And they screamed again, wanted to jump on Lynn. But Lynn didn't get used to her this time and made himself suffer, and threw her directly on the big tree trunk next to him. That gigantic demonic monster is none other than Gecko Moria. Not the usual Gecko Moria, though. The normal Gecko Moria is only about 7 meters long. This gigantic form of 30 to 40 meters high should be Gecko Moria, blessed with 100 shadows, maybe even the power of 1,000 shadows. Just met Ace, looked at Moria, and used the skill of pressing the bottom of the box. Worthy of Ace. I didn't expect you to be able to increase your strength so much. Your fruit ability is very interesting. Asita stopped when he saw Lynn and the others coming. Phew, who are you guys? Thousands of shadows added to the body, and the incomparable power surged in the body, making Gecko Moria even breathe a little involuntarily. Just a moment ago, he was enjoying a meal with his subordinates in a luxurious palace. Who knew that Acetus not only fell from the sky, but also froze the entire palace? If he hadn't used the skill Shadow Warrior in time to swap his real body with his avatar, he might not even have a chance to fight back. Because Acetus is too strong. This kind of reckless crushing force he has only seen in Kaido's body. Therefore, even with the power of Ying now, he dare not say that he can defeat Ace. Hand over the gold from the sky. Ace said, I can give you back the heavenly gold, but if you take the heavenly gold, can you leave my ship right away? Gecko Moria's posture was actually a little low. This makes Lynn a bit strange. Gecko Moria, but has the ambition of chasing the One Piece throne, and even fought against Kaido. Why are you so cowardly? There is no reason. After a while, when Lynn saw the 2 figures walking out of the palace, she immediately understood. This guy is trying to delay the attack. Slaying the dragon sword hero Dragon Horse. Princess Mononoke Perona. But there are only these two. The other zombies, as well as the other two, Weird Hobuck and Absalom with the ability of transparent fruit, were not wiped out when Ace Frozen the Palace just lost the combat power. Gala! In the distance, a huge monster is waking up and gradually walking out of the huge room where it is stored. Devil Oz, the gigantic demon known to the world for 500 years, is nicknamed Yunhua Oz because he likes to transport his favorite island away. It has a terrifying height of 67 meters, an extremely strong body, and incredible brute force. In terms of threat, it is not inferior to Kianing Moria. Interesting. Pick your opponent. Lynn still didn't plan to make a move. Let Ma Yin and the others deal with these enemies. Let me fight this big guy. Tsunade turned his attention to Oz the Devil. As the spokesperson of violence, Oz, the devil who seems to be open and close, is obviously her favorite opponent. That skeleton swordsman, Xiao Ri, is as powerful as you can handle it. That girl who looks sneaky and obviously weak, let me, Lord Ma Yin, teach you. Hey, Ma Yin picked Perona, who didn't look that strong, with a smug smirk on her face, as if she had already won. Fomin Rai would never refuse his partner's request, so he took the task of dealing with the great swordsman Ryoma. Okay, little ones, if you finish this wave, you will get 300 more points. Although Lynn really wanted to make a move to deal with the swordsman Ryoma immediately, and got the black knife Kushui in the opponent's hand. But think about it or leave it to Xiaori and long experience. With Zyra's current A+ level strength, it is not a big problem to defeat the great swordsman Ryoma. It happened that Xiao Rai hadn't fought to Jinhao yet, so today was a chance. Long live the captain. Under the heavy reward, there must be a brave girl. The three of Tsunade were full of energy and rushed towards their respective goals. That's how I look like a captain. How about being a babysitter every day? You flowers in the greenhouse always have to face the ups and downs outside. Are you right? Absalom. In the next moment, Lynn turned around and looked at a certain place and said lightly, impossible, don't you? The place looked empty, but there was a voice of surprise. Transparent fruit ability user Absalom. After Lynn got the full-level Conqueror's Haki, her mental strength was greatly improved, and her perception of the surrounding environment became much stronger. Of course, if Absalom didn't come close to Lynn to attack, Lynn might not be able to spot him in the first place. This also made Lynn have a lot of desire for observation Haki. Conqueror's Haki, in the battle of top powerhouses, both are indispensable. If you want to become a ceiling-level powerhouse in this world, you must have the top Conqueror's Haki attainments, because whether it is the One Piece Roger or the 4 later Sea Emperors, all of them have the existence of Super Conqueror's Haki. Dad! Lynn frowned slightly and swept away with a wave of Conqueror's Haki, easily stunned the unlucky guy who dared to hit both 310 SS. Boom, boom, boom. The next moment, Lynn Pirates vs. a fierce melee kicked off. Among them, the 2 battles of Chikage Moria versus Ace Des and Tsunade versus Demon Oz are the most intense and destructive. If there is no accident, this thriller bark won't last long under their devastation. But the most interesting one is the duel between Xiao Rai and Longma, the dragon-slaying swordsman. A living mage versus juggernaut situation. Fortunately, Xiao Rai has also mastered the 2-color Haki and Marine 6 styles, plus the air pressure and wind thunder that can control Rui. Lynn doesn't have to worry about being hurt by the opponent. However, the funniest battle was between Main and Perona. At the beginning, Ma Yin raised her hand and shot several times, making Perona a little flustered. However, she turns the front half of the pumpkin cannon into a blade shape and rushes forward to fight Perona. You're a sniper, big sister. Why did you rush up and fight melee? Lynn was a little speechless about the way she gave up her own advantages, but knew it was a choice, because Perona's force value is also very average. Main should have seen this. However, Ma Yin did all the calculations, but she never realized that Perona's ability is so pervert. After just one negative ghost passed through her body, she completely surrendered. Whoa, an earthworm. Woohoo, if only I had a boyfriend to help me out. 088. Why don't you go to New World if you are so hung up? Only bully honest people? Do you want to record the battle here? Siebel on the side pointed to Ma Yin, who was crying negatively on the ground, and asked Lynn, "Ah, stupid Maine." Lynn didn't expect that Maine gave Perona a chance to release the negative ghost, and she was hit. Just when he was about to attack Perona, Perona flew towards Gecko Moria. Because over there, Ace not only blasted out the thousands of shadows from Gecko Moria's body, but also frozen him completely. It has to be said that Ace, who possesses admiral-level combat strength and extremely rich combat experience, is not too easy to deal with Gecko Moria, who is in an unstable state because of forcibly swallowing Ying. Lord Moria. Perona flew over and released many ghosts. Among these ghosts, there are not only negative ghosts, but also ghost bombs, clone ghosts, big and small, all kinds of them, all making laughing voices swarming towards Ace. What's this? Ace looked at these almost transparent ghosts, but she didn't know what kind of ability it was, so she chose to step back and avoid the edge. Lynn praised this. As expected of Ace, this combat experience is too rich. But Perona's ghost is not so easy to deal with. Hee boom boom boom. Ace continuously released ice walls. Countless ice thorns shot rapidly, where ice slugs locked and pierced, but none of them could stop these ghosts from killing. Fortunately, Acetus is faster than these ghosts. Therefore, she can still do a job with ease. Killing you won't solve it? Ace looked at Perona, who was commanding the ghost behind him. Killing intent flashed in his eyes. Zila, she jumped up into the air suddenly, snapped her fingers and opened her arms. A light blue cold light flashed on her body, and a hailstone hundreds of meters in size instantly condensed into Ace, then turned gracefully and floated to the side of the origin hailstone like a flying elf, causing it to crash down. Ace, Lynn has a headache. A hailstone of your origin could kill Perona, but it would also destroy this ship. Then, everyone go to the sea to drink seawater? Ah, you're crazy. You're going to smash our boat. Quick, stop. Perona screamed in fright, looking extremely panicked. Lynn and others. What a naive baby. Just when Lynn was considering whether to kill a Cetus origin hailstone with a single sword. Boom! Suddenly, a huge black spear leaped from the ground, pierced fiercely into the middle of the falling origin hailstone, and directly pierced through it. Shadow Horn Gun. Gecko Moria's deadly move. Gecko Moria, Iran still has the power to fight. Wow! At this time, Lynn's flying slash also arrived, easily cutting the huge origin hailstone into countless small pieces of ice in an instant. Okay, let's stop here. Lynn came here just to want the gold in the sky and the underworld in the hands of the dragon horse, and I have no intention of annihilating you. Lynn came out and said, "You." Gecko Moria was panting heavily, and his face was very ugly. Lynn's group came up inexplicably, destroyed his palace and many zombies, and now stopped saying that he has no intention of annihilating them? Are you kidding me? Damn, I'm Gecko Moria, but 7 warlords of the sea. Where else but Kaido did I suffer this humiliation from Gecko Moria? Thinking of this, Gecko Moria's forehead was full of blue veins. However, Acetus's crushing, terrifying strength made him dare not speak out. And just now, Lynn shot to destroy the super hailstone hundreds of meters in size, and the swordsmanship strength displayed by Lynn made him even more frightening. If you read correctly, Lynn's slash just now is a random flat slash. Yes, it's really just a random sword, without any power or blessing armament hockey or something. He is not a simple great swordsman, but a top-notch great swordsman, possibly at the same level as Hawkeye Mihawk. Thoughts flashed through his mind, and Gecko Moria looked at Perona on the side and Absalom lying in the distance. No matter how angry he was, he could only press down. He understood that if he disobeyed Lynn again, his pirate group might be wiped out, and it would be completely wiped out. At this time, wow! Demon Oz was also subdued by Tsunade, who used strange power. Moreover, everyone saw an extremely shocking scene. I saw Tsunade punching down in the air, smashing the demon Ozzy who had climbed up the building and was about to jump up to attack. He could only let out a miserable cry on the ground. It seems that Tsunade's punch just now shattered all the bones in his whole body. What a domineering power this is. Gecko Moria took a deep breath, only feeling the cold sweat on his forehead. Undoubtedly, on Lynn's side, There are almost 3 top combat forces of the Admiral level. How can we fight this one? Damn it, you guys are so strong. Why are you still wandering around the first half of the Grand Line? Is this to play with me, Gecko Moria? Gecko Moria's complexion was extremely ugly. With the strength of the Lynn pirates, it is more than enough to go to New World to achieve the title of the 5th Sea Emperor, but they are still swaying in the first half, bullying weak chickens. It is simply NG. But he still forced a smile on his face. Your Excellency Lynn, I'm going to take the gold from the sky and give it to you. In addition, I will personally offer 200 million berry as your hard work for a trip. At the same time, he also told Longma, the dragon-slaying swordsman, to stop and retreat. Of course, this is also the reason why he saw that Longma was about to lose his hold. Foaming rise air pressure and wind power attack can provide a solid defense from a distance and a fierce attack from a distance. Even a great swordsman can't stand it. Slaying dragons and swords, heroes, and horses is one of his most proud masterpieces, and he doesn't want to lose it. Zhao Zhao's. In the face of absolute crushing strength, no matter how proud you are, you will just seek meaningless death. Seeing Gecko Moria, who has always been arrogant and disobeyed even Kaido, has become this kind of honest person who accepts everything. For a moment, Lynn felt that she was a little too deceitful. Of course, this trace of guilt couldn't survive even a second in Lynn's heart. After all, they have all come out to be pirates, and they still talk about so much benevolence, righteousness, and morality. Besides, what Gecko Moria does every day in this magic triangular area is stealing people's boats, stealing people's shadows, and even their bodies. Therefore, Lynn felt that she only needed some money and a knife, which was a bit merciful. Wow, so much money. TSK, it looks like a hill. Captain, then, should we increase our activity expenses? Whoa, I have never seen so much money in my life. 089. A woman's curiosity is terrifying. But there is no problem with the gold in the sky. But when Longma was asked to hand over the black knife Kushui, he was rejected. Gecko Moria didn't expect that Ryoma would resist his order like never before, and he was very surprised on the spot. Just when Gecko Moria was considering whether to pull out the shadow inside and then take the knife, Lynn spoke. Senior Ryoma, I know the origin of Hei Dao Kushui, and I also understand its significance to Wanakuni. If you give it to me, in return, if I go to New World in the future, I will help you liberate Wanakuni under Kaido rule. And I'll give it back to the Kazuki clan of Wanakuni. What Lynn said is true. In the future, Kaido will be a stepping stone for his reputation and bounty to rise to a higher level. And Kushui is not his first choice of weapon. Although Hei Dao Kushui has the highest density sword body in the pirate world, it is said that even if an elephant steps on it, the sword body will not bend by a millimeter. For him who has full-level armament haki, Yin who can maximize the power of armament haki, is a more suitable weapon. Of course, whether Yin is the most suitable depends on whether there will be peerless magic weapons in the reward box after the upgrade, such as Zampakit in the Shinigami world. Clang! Longma. 167 didn't make a sound, but shook the sword and slammed the sky, and slashed a brilliant big slash to the sky. I swear, there is no falsehood in what I just said. Lynn naturally understood what it meant and followed suit, shaking the sword and screaming, slashing and swearing. Seeing Lynn swearing, Ryoma immediately offered a black sword in autumn water, then put his hands together and bowed deeply to Lynn. Don't worry, I want to kill Kaido. Because I'm curious if he is really immortal, I really want to try. Lynn's words not only caused obvious emotional fluctuations on Longma's zombie face, but even Gecko Moria's expression changed drastically with mixed feelings. Undoubtedly, the scene where Kaido took the lives of all his companions reappeared in his mind, bringing him unspeakable grief. But his originally extremely humiliated mood dissipated a lot because of Lynn's promise to Ryoma. Yes, as long as you say cut Kaido, then you are my friend of Moria. The two sides shook hands to make peace, and Lynn said that he wanted to kill Kaido. Gecko Moria became a little enthusiastic and even asked Lynn and others to come down for dinner. This transformation of Gecko Moria made his subordinates all stare at each other with bewildered faces. Someone just destroyed your palace and residence and robbed you of your money and famous knives, and you still want to keep him for dinner? Is this welcome again next time? Lynn refused. Lynn really has no interest in dining in this spooky place. At this time, all the girls were surrounded by Princess Mononoke Perona. All of them looked very curious. Their curiosity was all caused by Ma Yin's embarrassment caused by the negative ghost. It's amazing that Gecko Moria's ability is to manipulate shadows, and you are a ghost? The various abilities in this world are really surprising, and imagination can't keep up. I don't know what it would be like if I was passed through by this negative ghost. How about we try and face directly the source of our deepest negativity? That's right, just try it. I'm usually such a positive person. This negative ghost must be useless to me. It seems interesting. Stop talking, I'll come first. Do Xiaori, and you want to come too. Ma Yin, advise you to take care of yourself. That feeling is too uncomfortable. However, after watching and researching for a while, they came up with the idea of trying it for themselves. And the victim, Ma Yin, couldn't stop it. Lynn on the other side was speechless. Perhaps this is the soul of 8 trigrams unique to women. Originally, Perona, who was trembling because of being watched, immediately puffed up her chest when she heard that they all wanted to try the negative taste B. The humiliation this princess suffered just now will be doubled to you bastards. The first one to shout to try was Tsunade. Whoosh! The ghost of negativity passed through her body in an instant. I'm just a puddle of mud that can't be lifted, the waste of the Senju family, the scourge of Konoha village. Not worthy of Lynn at all. The second one is Kohiori. Well, I am not as mature and clumsy as Sister Tsunade. I can't please Brother Lynn at all, so I can only work harder in my next life. The third is Ace. Hey, what face does a person like me have to be a general of the empire? Or stay at home and give birth to 10 children for Lynn? Gecko Moria et al. Then they all turn to the culprit Lynn. And they all look at the eyes of scumbags. Would you believe me if I said I was innocent? Lynn rubbed the back of her head, a little awkwardly sophistrying. I don't want to be a scumbag either. I can only blame the system for being too damned, who made it only recruit female sailors. If you recruit female sailors, you can recruit them, and all of them are big beauties who can stand up to this normal man. Lynn secretly thought that she could only blame everything on the garbage system. This is Hei Dao Qiu Shui. It is indeed one of the strongest in the Kwai Dao. It has been several days since I left the thriller bark, but Lynn is still touching the blade of the black knife Kushui, feeling every minute and every inch of this peerless weapon. Due to the extremely excellent material, although it is already a black knife attribute, Lynn feels that if she continues to nurture it with her full-level armament haki, it may become stronger. Of course, because Lynn's goal is Yen Mo, he will not do such a thankless thing, but he can't warm up and send it back to Wanakuni. Is it cheaper for others? If a full-level armament haki is not worthy of Yen Mo, who can bring armament haki to ultimate, it would be a waste of money. Although Kushui also has the special ability to fuse other swords, Lynn does not intend to follow the route of 2-sword style and 3-sword style, so he still chooses Yen Mo. The most important thing here is Yen Mo is not a black knife, and the upgrade space is obviously much larger than that of Kushui. Son, room! He pressed down with his right hand, and the operation space was activated instantly, covering the entire room. Today, he can already achieve a small operation space in seconds. No need to wait for the transparent gas to spin a few times. Gala! The moment he activated the operating space, a burst of light blue light swept across. Wherever this light blue light passes, everything is frozen to the bone, and everything is stagnant. Mahapatma of Ace. She's going to sneak attack again. 090. Prepare to fight against the Imperial group. Aokiji is coming up. However, Lynn had already teleported herself out of the room in the 1,000th of a second before the light blue light swept across. Ace Mahapatma has failed again. Stop playing, it's not fun. I can't catch it every time. With a coquettish sound, the figure of Ace appeared in the room. Isn't this pretty good? Your Mahapatma casting time is already 1 second longer than when you first came here, and the improvement is very obvious. And you have also mastered 2 kinds of hockey and Marine 6 styles, which are obviously much stronger than before. In the next second, Lynn teleported back again. He was still sitting in front of the table, holding the black knife, Kushui, to watch carefully, as if it hadn't moved. It's amazing. I want to have a normal relationship, but now I have to face the Shura field every day, fighting with a group of women. I want to find a love partner who has a future, and I hope I can cultivate it by myself. Now it seems like you are cultivating me. You are younger than me, but obviously I am being dominated by you. Besides, you are a gutless person. You obviously have desires for me, but you dare not touch me because of the coercion of that ant named Tsunade. You don't have a pure smile either, if I remember correctly. You smiled the happiest when you blackmailed Gecko Moria for heavenly gold, and when you saw us being played by the ghosts of negativity. Ace complained a little annoyed. This is completely opposite to the love conditions I originally envisioned. You say that? I'm very stressed. Lynn put away the autumn water, looked at Ace, but found that the other party came today premeditated. Instead of wearing the military uniform of the past, he changed into a short skirt with suspenders, revealing his fair and domineering figure, can easily bury the eyes of all men. Do you like it? It's specially worn for you to see. Ace blushed, and his light blue eyelashes fluttered, completely unable to conceal the turbulent spring flowing from his eyes. Her character is so direct and sassy. But at this time, squeak, not far away, a square wooden plank lifted up, and then Tsunade leaned out half of his body from it. Ace, have you finished talking? Go back to sleep if you have nothing to do. Don't seduce other men. In order to prevent Acitus from stealing Lynn, she even broke through the room between herself and Lynn. Acitus curled his lips when he heard the words. Oh, who said that he is the waste of the Senji family, the scourge of Konoha village, and not worthy of Lynn. Tsunade was also annoyed when she heard her revealing her scars. Oomph. Don't tell me you, a running dog of the Empire, really dare to give this scumbag one? If he likes it, it's not that I can't. My physical fitness is very good. Acitus confront each other. Okay. Seeing that the two were about to fight, Lynn quickly came out to be a peacemaker. Hey boy, if you fight, this arc will definitely be scrapped. Snort. In a short time, the two broke up unhappy, leaving only Lynn, who was still smiling awkwardly. Alas, the blessing of key people is not easy to enjoy. Immediately, Lynn put away her smile, shook her head, and began to think about the next plan. I'm going to New World next, and I need to cross the red line. Should I take the route of the Fishmen Island, or fly directly over the red line? Let's leave it to them to vote. If nothing else, it should be the Fishmen Island. After all, women, the prestige is already 720,000, and the prestige required by the 7th crew member is enough. And there is a difference of 200 million bounties. Which profession will the new crew choose? Bowman? Musician? Or the new profession that will be unlocked at that time? After the bounty of 1.5 billion is released, the system will unlock 2 new jobs, which Lynn is looking forward to. Also, my bounty is already at the level of the Emperor's deputy. If I want to increase it to a higher level, I need a bigger event stimulus. So, from now on, we must prepare to fight against the Imperial regiment. In the 4 emperors, which soft persimmon is better to pinch? Whitebeard is seriously ill, but he is also the most powerful, with a lot of strong fighters under his command. Big Mom's family is in a group. It's not good. The elite of the red-haired regiment is also a very tricky existence. Then, there's only Kaido of the Beasts. Of course, this wave of analysis by Lynn is also a bit subjective. Ever since he got the black knife Kushui, he wanted to kill Kaido. Because of killing Kaido, you can mess with his younger brother 7 warlords of the sea Doflamingo. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Now that I have killed 7 warlords of the sea, if I cut another one, I don't know if Marine and world government can stay calm and dare to increase my bounty. One in the conference hall at Marine Ford, Naval Headquarters. D. Sengoku slapped a stack of newspapers that smelled like ink on the table. Take a look. Many senior executives of Marine took a look and saw that the full page was Lynn again. Big event. Lynn pirates defeated 7 warlords of the sea Gecko Moria. So far, Lynn has defeated the 7 warlords of the sea under the world government. Lynn's bounty has reached 1.3 billion. How much will it increase this time? An analysis from a senior New World commentator. Asking for flowers, Lynn rescued many people whose shadows were taken away by Gecko Moria and won the praise of the name of Saint. Shocked, celestial dragons' heavenly gold actually fell into Lynn's hands. Lynn said that she would use the money for charity in the future to help some poor people exploited by celestial dragons. Multiple pirate groups believe that Lynn is the savior, the beacon that will overthrow the celestial dragons in the future, claiming that they will join Lynn's banner and follow for life. What do you think? Sengoku rubbed his forehead, feeling a little headache. The sand crocodile was hacked, and the world government didn't make any inquiries. But now that Gecko Moria is also hacked, the world government must not be able to sit still. Then, the pressure will come to your side again. Marshal Sengoku, you don't have to worry too much. This Lynn should go to New World according to his route. Huh? Let the four emperors have a headache. Anyway, we can't reach the New World if we want to. That's right. Let's just watch the show. It's just that, Marshal, you are a little hard to explain. There is nothing to explain. Kazan Admiral should catch up with this guy soon. Even if he pretends, he will explain. It's a pity that the other admirals have official duties. Otherwise, the combination of the two admirals should be able to annihilate this hateful guy. Sending 2 Marine admirals? That's something that hasn't happened in these years. I think the world government is also struggling. After all, they haven't even sent out the strongest CPO elite. After they had a discussion, Sengoku asked, "You mean to let Lynn go to New World?" You can't say that, Sengoku. If Kazan can handle them alone, it is undoubtedly the best. If it can't be done, then we have nothing to do. We can only let them escape to New World. Garp seemed to see through his mind and said with a smile, "Recently, the Revolutionary Army has instigated rebellions in several countries. Our focus should be on that side. The pirates who are going to New World, what do they do so much? As for the face of world government and celestial dragons, what does it have to do with our Marine?" Garp, shut up. Sengoku snorted quietly. In Marine, you, the Marine hero, are the only one who doesn't pay attention to the world government and celestial dragons. Okay, Lynn. Wait for Kazan Admiral's feedback before making a decision. Our next key topic is the Revolutionary Army. Report. Kazan Admiral is calling. He has found the Lynn pirates and is preparing to arrest them. At this time, the secretary sent the news that shocked everyone. 091. We, Admiral, are invincible. World government going live. Just when Sengoku et al. Were about to conduct a key session. Report. Kazan Admiral is calling. He has found the Lynn pirates and is preparing to hunt them down. At this time, the secretary sent the news that shocked everyone. As expected of Kazan Admiral, he caught up so quickly. This time we must catch everything. I don't think it's a big problem. Although Op Fruit's ability is weird, Kazan Admiral represents the highest combat power of our Marine, and we won't lose. Marshal Sengoku, why don't we start a live broadcast on Marine's side? You can have this. Lynn broadcasted us last time. This time we will broadcast back. We can use Kazan Admiral to get back all the face we lost with the world government. Yes. After starting the live broadcast, you can report it to the world government so that Master 5 Elders can also see the true strength of our Marine's highest combat power. The CP organization is just a clown. No. We Marine are the backbone of the world government. Seeing everyone getting emotional, Sengoku rubbed his chin and pondered. On Aokiji's warship, there is indeed a phone bug that could be used for live broadcasting, but in the current situation, 1 or 2 live broadcasts can be used. But he was still a little worried. Just in case, Aokiji can't deal with Lynn and them, then this live broadcast will turn into a prank that will discredit Marine. Put me through to Kazan. Sengoku thought about it, and still wanted to get an exact statement from Aokiji before making the live broadcast decision. The incident with Eni's lobby and the Gate of Justice last time made Marine and the world government very embarrassed. If they make another embarrassment this time, it will cause irreparable damage to the reputation and prestige of the two. Crunch, I said, Sengoku. Why don't you even believe in the strength of your own battle? Garp saw him wary, a little disdainful. When Garp was at Justice's gate, he talked to Aokiji about Lynn. Aokiji is guaranteed to catch Lynn and others at the next meeting. What kind of person Aokiji is, Garp knows very well. Since he can guarantee that he can kill Lynn's group, it means that the level of combat power of Lynn's group is still a bit far from that of Marine Admiral. Although Lynn is amazing, and his strength surpasses many supernovas, Marine should not give him a chance to grow. It's not that I don't have confidence, it's that I don't have this authority now. I need to apply to the higher authorities. Sengoku's expression changed. Yes, although he is the marshal of the Marine, he does not have the permission to broadcast live all over the world. After the Eni's lobby incident, Marine's authority in this area was taken back by the world government. He guessed that it was probably because Marine started the live broadcast at that time, but Aokiji didn't solve the reason for Lynn. Huh? 5 elders, these 5 old fools. Garp spat, which made everyone's expressions change. Proverbs of the Arkansas. In the meeting room, Lynn Pirates is passing a vote. The Fishman Island route. Full tickets. Tsunade read out the voting results, and the girls present cheered. Long live. I heard that the Fishman Island is the most beautiful place. It's 10,000 meters below the water. It's surrounded by transparent bubbles, and it's called an underwater paradise, a fantasy paradise. Wow, just hearing the name, I want to go there right away. I hope it will be as dreamy and beautiful as Sky Island. Hey, when you mention it, I think of the golden bell of Sky Island. That sound is really beautiful, and it is not the sound of nature that the world can have. Really? It's a pity. I came too late and didn't have a chance to hear it. I can only blame Captain Nose for not choosing me. Even Acetus is slowly blending into them. When the golden bell rings, Sky Island is like heaven. Ace, let me tell you, Sky Island really has angels, and they all have 2 little wings, isn't it? After our captain becomes the Pirate King, we'll go back and have a look when we have time. I want to go to Sky Island again and listen to the sound of the golden bell again. Golden bell. Everyone sighed excitedly about the golden bell, but Tsunade blushed inexplicably. You probably don't know that the cloud where the golden bell is located has left many crazy imprints of me and this stinky captain. Boru Buru Bulu. At this time, a small phone bug on the table rang. It was Siebel who was at the helm calling. Sabaody Archipelago, already seen in outline. It only takes half an hour to land on the Sabaody Archipelago, and she wants Captain Lynn to choose a suitable landing place, and the coding of boats to be carried out on the Fishman Island. Yay! Sabaody Archipelago. Shopping paradise, here we come. Lynn, give us the funding for the event. We're gonna have a blast this time. Hey, you didn't expect that. About this shopping, I've already made a strategy 3 days in advance. Wow! Erina, you are so strong. After getting off the boat, I will follow you. Such a shopping paradise. Without an activity fund of more than 1 million berry, how can it not be enjoyable? As soon as they heard the word Sabaody Archipelago, all the girls cheered. Then, their eyes all focused on Lynn. What are you looking at me for? I'm not an ATM. Even if it's an ATM, I still need a card and PIN. As the captain, you are not only responsible for your food, drink, lodging, transportation, and even high-end shopping. It's too difficult. Can't you be considerate of me, Captain? Lynn touched her nose, then looked miserable. Here you go. You're still pretending. You just robbed Perona's sister of heavenly gold, and you Lynn is fat. The desire to shop was aroused, so Tsunade didn't care so much about him and went straight up to find out the stalls. Okay. Normal activity costs 500,000 berry. Lynn couldn't stand it anymore. Also, don't use your points to exchange berry with the system just because you think it's too small. It's not worth it. One of your points can only be exchanged for 10,000 berry with the system, but with me, it can be exchanged for 20,000 berry. Come on, in order to enjoy the crazy shopping. Dear crew members, please don't be stingy with the points in your hands. Sabaody Archipelago is the most prosperous and chaotic island. It not only gathers luxury products from major companies from all over the world, but also has a 0.5 chance to buy rare treasures from other islands. If you miss it, don't come again, because next we're going to the New World, and it will be a journey in years. At this time, Lynn turned into a profiteer, advocating everything about Sabaody Archipelago. Change. I changed everything. Me too. Anyway, points or something, I'll earn them later. Ugh. In this case, I originally planned to go back to my world in 2 years, and it will be postponed again. It's so tangled. Forget it, let's change. Damn capitalists. Endless jobs, endless points, and homes that can't be returned. I've changed them all too. Just when all the girls succumbed and returned the points to Lynn, there was another message from Siebel. Captain Lynn, there is a marine warship chasing after, and I just received news that the world government has just launched a world-class live broadcast. Judging from the debugging screen before the broadcast, this live broadcast is locked on us. 092. You're sending rookies against Marine Admiral? One more? Wow. The legendary Marine Admiral. It's time to meet us again. This time, is the captain going to fight? Hee hee. Ma Yin, you smile so sinisterly. Why do I feel that you want to see the captain get beaten? I'm not. Don't talk nonsense. It's that Aokiji who came here this time. Dare to touch my Lynn. Look at my mother. I won't pluck all his hair. Aokiji is a chicken. Tsunade rolled up his sleeves, looking menacing and about to go out and do it right away. Marine Admiral, isn't he the best in Marine? Ace saw that Tsunade was excited, and she was not far behind. After getting an affirmative answer, she rushed out after Tsunade. Forehead. For these two militants, Lynn was a little speechless. Everyone quickly came to the stern position. Under Lynn's instruction, Siebel quickly set up 2 sets of equipment, the main camera and the backup camera. Finally, the big one is coming. Siebel was gearing up with a look of excitement on her face. Although she was promoted to a special-level reporter, she was only the last among the 10 special-level reporters, and there was still a long way to go in the future. In the position 14 above the special reporter, there is also a chief reporter who has been vacant for nearly a year. This chief reporter's seat is the end point of her lifelong struggle for Siebel. At this time, everyone looked around and saw a special small warship catching up at an extremely fast speed 3 to 4 kilometers away. In a few minutes, it can catch up with the Ark. At the bow of the small warship, Admiral Aokiji, wearing small sunglasses, is standing. Lynn, let me beat him up. Last time, I just took revenge for the frozen revenge. Tsunade looked eager to try. Her armament hockey has already reached the bottleneck of the intermediate level, so she wants to take this opportunity to see if she can break through 1 or 2. But instead of letting her play, Lynn named Ace. Obey. My dear Captain, Ace will fulfill his mission and prove that your choice is correct. Ace bowed slightly, then cast a meaningful glance at Tsunade and flew towards Aokiji. Damn it. Lynn UBD, Tsunade pouted. He was really upset to be ridden in the face by his love rival on the spot. But Lynn quickly turned her depression into warmth. She is a combatant, and she must go first if there is a battle. You are just a ship doctor. Stay well, don't make any mistakes. 17 after a while. Lynn looked forward and said generously, everyone is optimistic. A peerless show is about to debut. Next, we will witness an unprecedented classic battle in this world. The world will know who is the Emperor of Ice. What Lynn said made everyone tremble immediately. However, the simultaneous live broadcast of Shibuya and the world government made the entire pirate world boil at this time. Yes, this is an unprecedented simultaneous live broadcast all over the world at this time. The scope of the live broadcast almost covered nearly half of the population of Pirate World. Moreover, Morgan's is using all the resources, which is even bigger than the last live broadcast of Eni's lobby. The coverage area is still increasing. This war will also be a real carnival for the whole world, with the hard work of the hosts on both sides. All the audience soon entered the state of being about to explode. In the Palace of Alabasta. Today, the halls of the Uranus Palace are filled with members of the royal family and some dignitaries. Even Princess Vivi is there. But at this time, they were not discussing the importance of the country. Instead, I was watching the live broadcast, cheering for a pirate group. Alabasta is one of the member countries of the world government, and the ruling royal family is the descendant of the former creator, but they are cheering for a pirate group that is opposite the world government. If the world government and the celestial dragons know. However, everyone present couldn't control that much anymore. When Alabasta was in turmoil due to natural disasters and man-made disasters, Cobra sought help from Marine and the world government, but neither got decent help. It was Lin and his team who extended a helping hand to the kingdom and saved the entire country. Now, although Lin and Yin have been away for a long time, their prestige in the kingdom is even higher. They are still the gods and saintesses of the kingdom. Even if the world government is offended by this, Cobra and others will not feel anything wrong. Brother Lin, Sister Rai, you must win. Princess Vivi stared at the live broadcast, clenched her hands into fists, and cheered for Lin. Don't worry, Vivi, Lord Lin, they won't lose, because they are great miracles themselves. Marines can't create miracles. Cobra, who has been paying close attention to Lin's news all the way, is full of confidence in Lin. Of course, there are also people who are worried. Your Majesty, but Marine Admiral is dispatched from the Marine side, their highest combat power. Immediately, seeing Lin send a Cetus to play, everyone's confidence was a little shaken. Isn't it, Master Lin doesn't make a move, let a strange female crew member make a move? In the first match, I'm afraid I will lose. Except for Lord Lin and Lady Saint, how can anyone else be the opponent of Marine Admiral? Yeah, Kazan is awesome. He just froze an erupting volcano. Not only Alabasta, but also other audiences, when they saw Ace instead of Lin, they were all in an uproar. Without him, it was only because Ace appeared in front of the world for the first time. Even on the crew bounty list of the Lin Pirates, no one could find any information about her. As if the Lin Pirates had never had this person before? 127 new recruits? Then Lin put such a rookie against the famous Marine Admiral. What are you kidding? Even Tsunade, who was sent to break the iceberg with one punch last time and amazed everyone, is how many times stronger than this newcomer? However, there are also many people who feel inexplicably refreshed. As long as this newcomer named as Cetus can survive a few tricks under Marine Admiral, and then Lin will take over, the face-slapping Marine will be completed. Of course, they also speculated that Ace might be a reinforcement hired by Lin from outside. Maybe he really has some strength. However, they never expected New World aboard the Mabidi. Gula-la-la-la. You actually sent a rookie who is not on the bounty list of the group to fight against the highest combat power of Marine? This Lin is so interesting. Whitebeard wiped the wine from the corner of his mouth and laughed happily. But Marco frowned. I'm afraid it's inappropriate to play with Marine like this. I think this Ace is doomed today. At this moment, a phone on Margot rang. After connecting, his expression changed drastically, and then he leaned over to Whitebeard's ear and immediately informed him of the news he had received. What? It didn't stop, and Whitebeard almost dropped the flagon in his hand when he heard it. 093. Whitebeard's shock. The whole world is buying Aokiji to win. 2 more. Call him back immediately and tell him not to act rashly. Forget it. Give me the phone bug, and I will tell him personally. What a worrying child. That is the legendary pirate who resounds across the sea, and it is not so easy to deal with. Whitebeard sighed, then told Margot to bring the phone bug to persuade him himself. The scene that Lin sent Ace to fight not only caused a huge sensation in the world. Even the powerful New World was stunned by Lin's arrangement. But after being stunned, they laughed more. Because of this behavior, it was equivalent to slapping Marine hard on the face. Of course, the premise is that Aokiji can't do anything to this Acetus. Therefore, almost everyone thought that Lin would shoot when Acetus was not good. There are also many people who speculate that Lin's strategy should be to engage in wheel battles. Ace is dead, and other female crew members will make up for it. Lin will even make a shot at the end. Keep the tie and win? Even if it is a tie or escapes the hunt, the Lin Pirates will win this time. After all, they are facing the highest combat power of Marine. Of course, most of the audience think Lin is doomed this time, especially those powerful people in New World who have seen the horror of Marine Admiral almost overwhelmingly place their bets on Marine. Stupid guy, you dare to live broadcast the whole world. The last time you escaped at the gate of justice, it was your luck. This time your luck will run out. It's been a long time since I've seen Marine Admiral make a move. This guy named Lin, he slapped his face like this at the beginning, and he's going to be unlucky after that. Lin Pirates, let's get rid of this. Zixixixy, these years, these clowns are the same supernova. Can you have less? Hurry up and put me through Tezulo's betting line. I'm going all in on Marine Aokiji to win. What? The odds of buying Aokiji have dropped to 1.1? Even if it's 1.1, I still stud. Isn't this giving money? Ha! Fools are still watching the show, but wise men have already started betting. Buy Marine Admiral to win. Come on, give me 200 million berry to buy Aokiji to win. In the depths of a certain island in New World, in the new headquarters of the World News Agency, all employees are busy. In front of the President Morgan's, several large screens were opened. On all the screens, Ace vs. Aokiji is being broadcast live. Siebel, you've done a good job again this time. Listening to the reports from the Secretary of the President from time to time, he was full of hope. This time, with the help of world government, our world economic news will set a new record. And at this moment, a phone bug above his desk rang, interrupting his excitement. Huh? Cybel. Morgans was a little curious about why Siebel didn't continue to host the live broadcast, but called himself at a critical moment. However, after he finished listening, he was stunned. You let me buy 100 million berry Ace to win? 1 billion berry to tie? He couldn't believe it and hurriedly asked again to confirm. That's right, boss. This is Mr. Lynn's request. Boss, wait a moment. I will let Mr. Lynn speak to you. She hooked up with Lynn. Hello, Mr. Morgans. Lynn was in an inexplicable mood when she took Siebel's call. Morgans, but one of the dark giants underground in the New World, has energy that is difficult for ordinary people to match. When you talk to someone for the first time, you will naturally be a little curious. Of course, he is talking to the other party this time to make money, and he really has no interest in meeting them. Mr. Lynn, hello. Morgans greeted him and just wanted to say a few words of compliment, but Lynn didn't give him this chance. Mr. Morgans, time is urgent. You bet me first, and then we will talk. Then, Lynn hung up the phone. Morgans over there was a little depressed. I am a dark giant of the underground world, and I end up betting on Lynn's errands for you? That's all. Thinking of the new value of the Lynn pirates that Siebel has been discovering these days, Morgans had no choice but to dial a certain number. Hello, Tezulo? In fact, Lynn was also surprised. The odds of Acetus winning Aokiji reached 100 to 1, and then the two sides tied at 50 to 1, and the odds of Aokiji even dropped to 0.08 to 1. It can be seen that almost all people are not optimistic about Ace, and they all think that Aokiji will win. The hope of Ace draw is slim. Hey, neither look good. That's better. Then I can make a lot of money. Lynn thought flatteredly. The current Ace has not only strengthened the Taiga's secret skill, Mahapatmo, but also has mastered Marine 6 styles and 2-color hockey proficiently, especially Conqueror's hockey. She started from the elementary level gifted by Lynn, and in a short period of time, she has cultivated to the ceiling of the intermediate level, which is only a thin line away from the advanced Conqueror's hockey. And armament hockey is also easy intermediate. Originally, Acetus possessed admiral-level combat power, and now it has been strengthened a lot. So how can we lose this battle? Of course, he didn't dare to underestimate Aokiji's strength, so he bet more on a tie. Here we go. With the change of the situation ahead, Lynn hastily shuddered and focused on watching the battle. Although he believes that Acetus will not lose, but what if there is an emergency? Roar! After all, Aokiji has also awakened frozen fruit, so it is possible that he has some hidden nirvana. It's okay for Ace to lose this battle, but Lynn will never allow Aokiji to further reap his life. On the surface of the sea, Aokiji and Ace stood on the big icicles condensed by their own abilities. Ace, it seems that you are also an ice attribute fruit user. Aokiji heard the other party's self-introduction and saw that his warship had evacuated to a safer distance. So he said coldly, "Let's start as Cetus. Hope you won't disappoint me." Ace licked his lips lightly and pulled out the saber at his waist. This is how a rare and unprecedented battle kicked off. 094. She's an intern with 0 bounty. What happened to Aokiji? Boom, boom, Gala, Zila. As soon as Aokiji and Ace fought, the sea within a radius of 1 or 2 miles turned into big ice cubes. Frost and snow fluttered in the sky, and the cold wind was howling. Iran looked like a scene of winter coming. Ace Des, my frozen fruit, is the leader of all ice and snow devil fruits. For women, Aikazan has always respected, so please step back and replace your captain. After probing a move, Aokiji spoke to Ace, frowning. His frozen fruit is the highest rank among all ice and snow devil fruits. Since it is confirmed that Ace devil fruit is also ice and snow, the victory has already been decided, so there is no need to fight anymore. This Lynn pirate group, let's just grab them and throw them into Impel Down. It's a bit cruel to wipe them all out under the attention of so many people. Aokiji thought to himself. What he upholds is lazy justice, which is different from Akainu's thorough justice, so it is not so heavy on killing. Of course, this is also related to the fact that the crew of Lynn's ship are all beautiful women. Although Aokiji is not a sympathetic person, they were all killed on the spot. For the audience who are watching the live broadcast, this impact is indeed a bit big. 747 moreover. Arresting is more shocking than killing. Unfortunately, the following facts will tell him. You, Aokiji, think a little too much. At this time, Lynn yelled loudly, interrupting his thoughts. Kazan Admiral, Ace is the new intern crew member on our ship. The bounty is 0 so far. Please take care of me. The show is 2 wolf intern, and the bounty is 0. You sent an intern with a 0 bounty to deal with my Marine Admiral? Lynn UBD. For a moment, the pheasant was almost out of breath. Even if he has a good temper, he almost couldn't resist the Ice Age, burying everything in front of him in ice. Lynn's words not only disturbed Aokiji's mentality, but even all the audience in front of the live broadcast went into an uproar. Send an intern with a 0 bounty against Marine Admiral? It turned out that many people speculated that Ace might be a master hired by Lynn from outside, and he could resist Aokiji for a while. However, now that Lynn said that the bounty is 0, it is true that Ace is really a newcomer to the pirates, Beatty. Fight Marine Admiral with the weakest rookie in the regiment? Almost instantly, they cursed in unison. Lynn, you are so talented. Can you really make trouble? Of course, this made more people excited. This Lynn's live broadcast is so interesting, the program is very effective, but at Naval Headquarters, everyone is raging, and they are about to explode. This Lynn, unforgivable. A trainee with 0 bounty? That's too much. For the sake of showing off, he will use all means. Our Marine is so breathless today, I really can't swallow it. Marshal, please allow me, the Ghost Spider, to join the operation to hunt down the Lynn pirates. I, Doberman, am also applying here. If the Lynn pirates are not eliminated, I will never take a vacation. Don't be impulsive. With Kazan Admiral, they can't turn the sky. Now let them take advantage of the bitterness? Wait a minute and they will cry. Yes, you must have confidence in Kazan Admiral's strength. The higher Lynn these guys jump, the harder they fall. Let's wait and see. I think Kazan Admiral's complexion is not good. He is famous for his good temper. Today, Lynn is too outrageous, and he is PD off. Ace Dessa's ability is overwhelmed by the superior frozen fruit, and Lynn has to take action next. Marine executives were angry at first, and then calmed down. After all, Aokiji is impossible to defeat. Next, he will wipe out the Lynn pirates. This time, Kazan may not be able to complete the task so easily. This Acetus is very strong. But at this moment, Garp stopped eating the senbei and said a word that surprised even the Marine executives. Vice Admiral Garp, are you sure? Vice Admiral Garp, where did you analyze it? I think the one who is the most threatening is the one named Tsunade. After all, the power is too terrifying. I think it's still Lynn. Didn't Hiwashishin Vice Admiral say this Lynn is a little Garp? Garp didn't bother to answer, but just replied, you will find out later. This Ace is not simple. You haven't seen her freezing ability, and her activation speed is even faster than Kazan. And she dared to pick up Kazan with bare hands. The ice skates and icicles on the ice show that her physical attainments are also amazing. Hiss, it seems to be true. Too fast. What is this devil fruit? This attack speed is simply a thought. Not only is the attack speed fast, but the power is also extremely terrifying. In the blink of an eye, many Marine executives also noticed something was wrong. An Ace frenzied attack immediately. His own Aokiji Admiral was at a disadvantage. Not only Naval Headquarters was silent, but all the audience in front of the live broadcast also held their breath at this time, not daring to take a breath. None of them expected that after Ace launched a strong attack, Aokiji, the Marine Admiral, would retreat steadily. He was repelled by Ace for hundreds of meters in one breath, almost unable to stabilize his body. Disgraceful this is. In the battlefield, boom! Aokiji was blown away again. Even on the way of flying backwards, several huge water jets were broken one after another. For a while, ice slag splashed and cold smoke billowed, making Aokiji look a little embarrassed. At this time, Ace was standing in the sky with her sword in her fingers, and her light blue waist-length hair was fluttering in the wind, which made her look extremely elegant in addition to her heroic spirit. "Kazan, if you don't use your true skills, I might kill you here." At this moment, Acetus' voice turned cold. Don't look at her acting like a little woman to please Lynn, but in her eyes, the whole world is just such a precious Lynn. As for the others, in her eyes, they are like ants that can be crushed to death when following. Maybe members of the Lynn Pirates are barely an exception, especially what Aokiji said earlier about high-level fruit and low-level fruit made her very angry. So, she wants to prove one thing here today. The appearance of the demon god, the quintessence of the demon, is absolutely superior to the frozen fruit. In summary, what happened to killing you, Aokiji? 095. The next Imperial group? Aokiji, oops, I may not win. As soon as Ace said this, all the audience watching the live broadcast gasped again. You, an intern with zero bounty, dared to kill Marine Admiral on the spot. What arrogance! What ignorance! However, the situation on the field made them faintly feel. Ace's words were not aimless. If Aokiji is suppressed like this, anything can happen. But one thing is obvious. Aokiji's frozen fruit does not seem to be the top fruit ability of Ace's, because Acetus' ability to control ice seems to be stronger than Aokiji's first line. How can it be? How can an intern on a supernova ship be better than Marine Admiral? The absurdity of the absurd. For a while, those gamblers who won with Aokiji even shouted and cursed. Is this Marine Admiral releasing water? FK, the water is too deep, isn't it? Even Marine Admiral is here to cheat money. It's too dark. There's definitely something wrong with this matchup. It's no wonder that Morgans and the world government have opened up all the live broadcast resources. It turns out that the two parties are planning to join forces to make a lot of money. No wonder that Lynn's performance is so poor. It's so grandstanding. Damn it, I managed to earn 200 million berry in a few years, and now it's all in vain. This rubbish Aokiji or something. Don't let me see you in New World in the future. Otherwise, I will see you and hit you once. Don't worry about it. You can beat Marine Admiral, and you will be the 5th Emperor of the Sea long ago. You might as well find this Lynn's fault easier. You're right. This Lynn had better not come to New World for me to meet, or I'll hit him once. This Lynn's bounty is already 1.3 billion. If this Acetus can stop Marine Admiral this time, his bounty may be comparable to that of the 4 Emperors. Are you sure you can beat the bounty of only 80 million? Just kidding. You guys are here to tear me down, right? I can't beat Marine Admiral and Lynn, and I can't beat you. You eat my big sword. The speed of his rise is too fast. If I remember correctly, he was a little pirate with tens of millions more than a month ago. For a while, there was a lot of discussion, but everyone's eyeballs were firmly locked by the live broadcast, and they would feel extravagant even if they blinked. Many people also used video phone bugs to record today's live broadcast. After all, Admiral-level battles do not mean that there are always ones, but this is an excellent opportunity to observe. Maybe you can find a minister in it who will make you stronger. However, when they noticed what was happening on Lynn's side, they got a little overwhelmed. They never imagined that Lynn is actually playing mahjong at the opening stage. What's more, those who don't play mahjong are all lying on specially raised beach chairs, equipped with fruit juice sunglasses, and look like they are watching the game leisurely. Is that human being? Your interns are fighting against Marine's highest combat power, aren't they? You guys are playing mahjong and basking in the sun, completely indifferent? No concern at all? Anyone? Wanakuni, in the palace on the top floor of Oni Island, is also broadcasting the decisive battle between Aokiji and Ace live through the video phone bug. Ha 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 ha! I like this Lynn so much. If he comes to New World, I must try my best to recruit him. How can such a talent not become my subordinate? An extremely tall and burly man in leather pants with dragon horns and long beards, a dragon scale tattoo on his left arm, and purple fluffy skin, said while drinking and laughing. Emperor of the Sea, Kaido of the Beasts, my Lord Governor, I think you are interested in his ability to play with Marine? If this Acetus can really be on par with Kazan, then when the Lynn pirates enter New World, they may become the existence to crusade us for the throne of the Emperor of the Sea. I'm afraid they won't be persuaded by you to join us. On the other hand, the tall man wrapped in a special black suit and with a pair of black wings broke his mind. Beast Pirate's big sign. The first of the 3 plagues, Jin. Everything is good. This boring world needs such people to come out and stir it up. Kaido was non-committal, still drinking heavily. Lynn boy, don't die too fast. I hope you can bring me happiness again. Otherwise, I can't help but destroy this world. Somewhere in the New World, a big ship with a red dragon head is moving fast. At this time on the deck, most of the crew of the ship are also watching the live broadcast of Lynn Pirates versus Aokiji, asking for flowers. Ah, this Lynn is such a jerk. A red-haired man with 3 standing long scars on his left eye, a short stubble, couldn't help laughing and cursing. Emperor of the Sea, red hair Shanks. At this time, a man next to him with long hair tied into a ponytail and a bang hanging down his forehead, who was smoking a cigarette, answered, "It's a pity that the girl named Ma Yin didn't make a move. The non-stop continuous shooting technique last time is truly amazing. Excellent, and the special firearm in her hand, I like it so much." Lieutenant of the Red Hair Pirates, Benn Beckman. Well, Tsunade, who smashed the iceberg with a punch last time, is said to be just their ship's doctor. Plus the strength of today's Acetus and Lynn pirates, it is enough to challenge every Emperor of the Sea. It is also possible to become the next possibility of a Sea Emperor. If such a force enters the New World, it will definitely set off a huge wave and the fragile balance will be broken, Redhead Shanks said, frowning. So, you're hoping that Kazan will kill them in the first half of the Grand Line? Benn Beckman exhaled a circle of smoke. It doesn't matter, anyway. This sea won't be quiet for long. It's possible to run away at any time. Lynn is just one of many gunpowder leads. Boom! Phew! It was another fierce confrontation. Ace and Aokiji both flew upside down tens of meters to stabilize their bodies. At this time, both of them were panting heavily, and it was obvious that their physical strength was exhausted. However, it seems to be another evenly matched confrontation. So far, the two of them have fought for hundreds of rounds. Moreover, the aftermath of the battle between the two expanded the frozen sea into an island with a radius of more than 10 miles, 200 to 300 meters thick, and icebergs and icicles everywhere. Aokiji squinted at Acetus. His usual indifferent expression was finally gone, and some were just shocked and surprised. He is very clear now. Acetus's fruit ability is not his inferior existence at all. And in terms of ability release, he is obviously better than himself. This made him have a very strong premonition. This fight he probably won't win. Except extraordinary. 096. The secret of Logia's awakening. Are you tired? Let's eat. Unless you use the awakening power of frozen fruit. Aokiji took a deep breath. At this time, he was very troubled in his heart. The awakening power of frozen fruit is his last whole card. But now there are hundreds of millions of viewers all over the world watching this battle. Among them, there should be quite a few Zeons from New World. Due to Morgan's reasons, Aokiji suspected that the 4 Sea Emperors might be watching the live broadcast this time. Then, he just released his whole cards like this. Let the enemy record it and study it. However, if you don't use your whole cards, you can't help aced. At that time, the face of Marine and the world government will be taken away by me. What happened to Eni's lobby last time, the world government was already extremely embarrassing. Plus this time, Aokiji got a headache just thinking about it. Damn it! Aokiji cursed secretly. This kind of entangled scene, he has not encountered 790 for a long time, that's all. In a moment, he broke his heart. Dump! As if something had been opened. An inexplicable deep and crisp sound resounded through the sky. It's like the shackles are being opened. And it's like the tiger's cage has been opened. And it's more like the raging magma has lost its suppression. Gala! Zila! Half of Aokiji's face also began to turn into ice elements. At this time, his body was more like composed of thick cold smoke and crystal clear ice. What's even more frightening is that there is a terrifying chill that is rapidly spreading around his body. Even the frost floating in the sky was turned into spider web-like icicles by the cold air. The kingdom of ice and snow is forming in an instant. This extreme cold power is on two levels compared to the previous one. It won't be assimilated and utilized by my demonic essence. There isn't even a single bit of it. On the contrary, its power is extremely condensed, and at its core, there are things like rules. Such eternal power, if not consumed by the same power, it can exist in the world for 10 years, or even decades. This should be the awakening power of devil fruit that Lynn mentioned, and the unique eternal characteristic of Logia. It is indeed Marine Admiral. Seeing Aokiji's true chapter and launching the awakening power of devil fruit, Ace also stood up. The time to decide the outcome is finally coming. Freezing awakening ice dust escape. Aokiji's hand melted into a cold and sharp ice blade, and then disappeared in a flash. What a speed! My eyes can't catch it. Acetus was taken aback. Her original speed was already very strong, and after getting Marine 6 styles, she went up to a higher level. I was able to keep up with Aokiji's speed before, but now, I can't keep up at all. Chilla, clang. The next moment, a knife came from behind her. No matter how fast her battle response was, and how timely armament hockey covered her, there was still a cloud of snowflakes splashing out from her back. And the most terrible thing is that the other party cut her with a knife, but she couldn't even touch the other party's closed kaku. Yes, Aokiji disappeared again. There is no chance of counterattack. In the next second, Aokiji's ice blade stabbed out from the right side again. It stabbed her right arm. With armament hockey's support and Aokiji's one-hit escape, the wounds were not serious both times, but this made Ace very unhappy. Moreover, she also understood why the other party wanted such guerrilla warfare. Every time she is injured, an indelible and repelling force of extreme cold will invade from the wound, bringing a terrible, bone-chilling cold, making the body tissues in that place feel numb and obscure, and gradually become dull. If this goes on like this, if I only need to get hit a few more times, I may fall into an absolute disadvantage, and it will be difficult to come back. Ma Patma. So she no longer hesitated, and immediately displayed the nirvana of the essence of the devil. Laugh! Earn! A blue radiance takes Ace as the origin point and instantly spreads to this world. Wherever the light blue brilliance goes, the cold wind, snow, and frost, and everything that responds to it, freezes, as if time stopped. And at this moment, Lynn and Marine, who were far away from the battlefield, were filming the scene. It just captured that the world suddenly darkened, and it seemed to be shrouded in a layer of light blue light. Everything inside seemed to be dark. Fade away. Mahapatmo, it seems that Ace and this Kazan have no reservations to decide the winner. Lynn pulled out the black knife Autumn Water, concentrated on it, and was ready to make a move at any time. Inside the Mahapatma space, Ace looked at the skate that was about to pierce his heart and frowned. It was only after time and space were frozen that she figured out what Aokiji's style of play was all about. It turned out that after being extremely elementalized, he then used the power of extreme cold to erupt earlier, causing the ubiquitous black ice to act as a springboard, thus the speed at which near-flat teleportation occurs. Dad! At this time, the entire space, shrouded by Mahapatma, suddenly felt a little unstable. I don't know how many trillions of tiny blue and white ice points are flickering, shaking this frozen space-time. Logia's indestructible power after awakening is too tricky. Fortunately, my Mahapatma has also been strengthened. Otherwise, I really can't do anything to you today. Killing intent appeared in Ace's eyes, and she raised the knife and cut off the arm that was holding the skate and protruding from the ice next to her. For this cut, she used armament hockey. I don't know if I can hurt the extremely elemental Aokiji. Crack! She even chopped that piece of ice into fine powder. But it's not over yet. She suddenly jumped into the sky, snapped her fingers, and instantly condensed a super large hailstone of origin. She wants to smash this piece of ice and snow into pieces. After all, Aokiji has already arranged this piece of world as his frozen domain. If this place is not destroyed, if the fight continues, she will still be continuously weakened. As soon as the 1,000-meter large origin hail came out in the sky, it immediately covered the sky and the sun, and its momentum was booming, scaring most of the audience's eyeballs out of their eyes. And Acetus, who turned lightly to the back of the origin hailstone, is a sudden click at this time. Boom! The hailstone of origin fell suddenly like a meteor, smashing hard on this mysterious ice island, smashing it into pieces, and it was about to be completely shattered in sight. But it's not over yet. Gala, the huge sound of ice condensing suddenly sounded dense and complicated, so everyone saw another amazing scene. The fragmented Iceland was actually condensed by ice again. In the center of the new Iceland, there is a huge icicle rising rapidly. Lock on Ace. On the top of the icicle stands Aokiji with a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. Look at 0.1. In the Mahapatmos space, Ace used a slash with armament hockey just now, but he still hurt him. The indelible frozen field. What a trouble. Ace didn't expect the opponent to come so fast. She could only activate the skill-paled giant mouth and greet the opponent with thousands of ice thorns with armament hockey. Whoosh whoosh. Toot toot toot. Boom! Countless ice cubes and snow fog exploded, like a huge ice flower blooming in midair. The two took the opportunity to hit each other with all their strength, and then flew upside down and separated. Okay, you have been fighting for a long time. Are you tired? Are you hungry? Ace, come back for dinner. Kazan Admiral, do you want to join me? The best barbecue in the world. But at this moment, Lynn's voice came from a distance. Those who followed the camera on Marine's side couldn't help laughing when they saw Lynn's situation. 097. If you don't give me Lynn face, I'll have to kill you. It turned out that there was a barbecue pit on the bow of Lynn's boat. Nakiri Erina, who was dressed in a white chef's attire, was busy, and Maine was helping. Judging from the large table covered with at least dozens of ingredients, this meal is simply not too rich. All the audience was speechless. Just now, everyone was shocked by the fight between Ace and Aokiji, feeling the power of ice between the two, saying that this is the embodiment of the world's highest combat power. Very exciting. However, when the winner is about to be decided, Yulin calling someone back to dinner? Interrupting the duel? What's the difference between this and throwing the newly stripped groom into the cowshed overnight? Damn, Lynn, from the first moment I saw him, I hated him. Don't let me see you in New World. Damn it. If there is no winner because of this, what will happen to my bet? Cold salad. If there is no winner or loser, it's a civilian game. But the audience paid more attention to Ace. I didn't expect this Acetus to block Marine Admiral, and he didn't lose the slightest bit. My God, one in turn on Lynn's ship is so strong. What about the others? Isn't it? That's why I always feel that in the Eni's lobby fight, Lynn 14's side is hiding their strength. With such a configuration, isn't it the royal group? The proper fifth emperor of the sea. Is it possible that he will be the strongest sea emperor? What the hell are you talking about? Let's denounce this rubbish Lynn. Don't you feel bad? All good orgasms are interrupted by him. Oh yes, damn BD. People are killing people. Why are you shouting for dinner? I have to say, this Lynn is really a treasure. I laughed to death today. Ha ha ha. Today Marine and world government are being played like this by this Lynn. They will lose face. It's very pitiful. The world government thought it was a sure win, and even used its own resources to launch live broadcasts in more than 100 franchise countries. Oh, that's really a tragedy. Huh. Why did I laugh out loud? Although Lynn ran out to interrupt the climax of the decisive battle, making people almost vomit blood, but more people were still shocked by the strength of the trainee Aces, comparable to Admiral's combat power. What does that mean? It means that Lynn already has the qualifications for the royal team. Just wait for the Lynn Pirates to enter New World, and then win a few battles to seal the territory, and then it is almost possible to announce the birth of the Fifth Sea Emperor. Different from the noise and excitement of other spectators, the conference hall of naval headquarters was completely silent at this moment, and a stuffy atmosphere permeated the air. I didn't expect this Acetus to block Kazan with only the power of ice. Where did this monster come from? Compared to her strength, I am more curious about her identity. Report to Marshal, we don't have any information about this Ace, and comparable to Admiral's strength, but also so beautiful. It is impossible not to find any clues. What is your investigation department doing? Let me continue to investigate. Sengoku, who was dissatisfied with the results of the investigation, finally couldn't help it and lost his temper in a rare way. Master Marshal, we have also sought help from the CP, but there is still no result. This Ace seems to come from another world, and the relevant information is blank. The person in charge of the investigation office defended profusely. Not even CP? It can only be said that this woman is very forbearing, and she is not from a franchise country. Call Kazan immediately and ask him to cut off the live broadcast. Sengoku thought about it and finally made a decision. Aokiji can't win, so live broadcast with a hammer. He, known as the resourceful general, was very annoyed by the frustration of falling from heaven to hell. Report to Marshal. Kazan Admiral calls back. He wants to keep fighting. The secretary immediately brought Aokiji's response. Good. Bloody. As expected of Admiral from our headquarters. Even if we can't keep Lynn and the others today, let them know the majesty of our marine. It's best to kill some miscellaneous fish on their boat, or sink their boat, so that they can't escape happily. That's right. This damned Lynn dared to tease our marine, and he must pay a heavy price. Hearing that Aokiji was going to fight bloody, many marine executives boiled up again, as if they had been beaten with chicken blood. At this point, if you want to restore your reputation, there is only one way to go. Best to take out 1 or 2 crew members on Lynn's ship. Look, it seems that Kazan is not very willing. It seems that he's going to make a big move. As expected of Marine Admiral, the other party has so many people, yet they are brave enough to go up. You think he thinks this time he is carrying the naval headquarters and the world government on his shoulders. Even if he dies, he has to bite the bullet. Hey, that's all. No matter how loyal you are, you don't need to risk your own life. Over the years, there are many strong people who have escaped from Marine, such as Garp's son. That's right. Even if Kazan pats his butt and leaves Marine now, Marine should not dare to say anything. After all, he is the highest combat power, who can do nothing to get him if he wants to leave. Kazan's move is too strong. The sea is frozen for dozens of miles, and now Lynn's boat is also frozen, and he can't escape. What a spectacular scene. Logia's devil fruit is too strong. It deserves to be the strongest of the 3 systems. Ice Emperor, figure, just when people thought it would come to an end, Aokiji went up and even directly launched a big move. Ice Age. In a short period of time, the sea surface of dozens of miles around was firmly frozen. Ace, come again. We haven't decided yet. Aokiji raised a large icicle hundreds of meters high, standing on it and shouting loudly. Snort! Ace was about to return to the Ark, and when he heard his words, he was about to shake his sword and fight back. For a Super S combat madman like her, it is really a very uncomfortable thing to not be able to distinguish the level with her opponent. But then Lynn jumped out and grabbed her. Kazan, do you like to bully girls? You've hacked her twice, so stop pestering her. Today's live broadcast, let's go here first. Let's eat barbecue together. I have a very good quality East Blue red wine on it. Stop making trouble. Quickly remove the ice. It's not good for you to freeze my boat like this. It will damage the bottom of the boat. Lynn laughed. I'll eat you big-headed ghost. Stop talking nonsense. Faced with this kind of deliberate hippie smile, Aokiji couldn't bear it anymore and almost turned on the shrew mode. Are you losing face? Lynn's complexion changed as soon as he said it, and he immediately pulled out the black knife, pointed at Aokiji, and said coldly, If you don't give me Lynn face, I will only cut you down. 098. 1 Admiral for 1. I am ashamed of Lynn's swordsmanship. If you don't want to save face, just hack and chop Admiral Aokiji. Lynn's words made the people following the live broadcast go into an uproar again. Although Aokiji played against Ace, he has already consumed a lot of energy. But Marine Admiral is Marine Admiral, and you, Lynn, are not Ace. If you, Lynn, ran slower last time, you might be an Impel down by now. Hearing this, Aokiji smiled. You are very confident, but you probably won't run away this time, right? Acitas can't win? Can't even deal with Lynn? For a moment, Aokiji had an idea in his mind. Wait a minute and go all out, and retreat as soon as he catches this guy. This is the only chance to turn around. Even if you can't catch it, it's okay to hurt the other party. Save some face for yourself. Kazan Admiral. What are you talking about? My current swordsmanship is Mihawk. If he sees it, he will yell out how ashamed he is. This sentence made Aokiji a little speechless, and couldn't help but bend the corner of his mouth. You guy, do you know who Mihawk is? Not only was Aokiji speechless, even most of the audience thought Lynn was bragging. This Lynn, why is he becoming more and more like a living thing? How arrogant! Since he knows the title and name of Hawkeye Mihawk, he should also understand. Mihawk is recognized by the whole world as the world's #1 swordsman. He said that even if Mihawk saw his sword skills, he would be ashamed of himself. Today's weather is really good. I have to say, this Lynn is just like a comedian, bringing us a lot of joy. That's right. The effect of the show is really full. I sincerely suggest that he become an actor. He is not a pirate at all. Don't bury him. Kazan, don't you think it's funny? Seeing that Aokiji didn't respond, and the corners of his mouth were still upturned, Lynn raised his black knife Kushui a little bit unconvinced and slashed at him. Aokiji was about to say something, and then he started attacking himself, trying to take down the opponent in a few seconds. I don't know. Clang! The knife that Lynn cut out seems to be arbitrary, but also empty and light, and seems to be bluffing. However, when the knife fell, there was a shocking sword cry. This sword cry filled dozens of miles around, shaking everyone's eardrums, and brought a faint pain. The so-called jamming Bailey is just like this. Jamming Tsunade is second, and the slash that Lynn made is the most terrifying existence. Aokiji only saw Lynn swinging the knife, and a blazing flying slash locked on him. Just being locked, Aokiji felt like 1,000 needles were on his body, and there was a strange feeling of acupuncture everywhere. Especially between the eyebrows, there is a tingling sensation. In his heart, there is also a strong sense of crisis erupting. This is the body's most original and fundamental response to crisis. And in the next second, slash came to him at lightning speed. What? Aokiji's spirit almost jumped out of fear. He has never seen a slash that can instantly erase a distance of more than 100 meters. Isn't this kind of slashing speed too shocking? What made him feel unbelievable was the power contained in this slash. Wherever this slash passed, it seemed that even the space was shaking. A slash at this level of power is already at the level of a top swordsman. And in the whole world, swordsmen with the strength of top swordsmen can be counted with 2 hands. The strength of every top swordsman will not be inferior to that of Marine Admiral. This Lynn is actually a top swordsman. So, what about that day? Was it necessary for him to escape? Is it necessary to show weakness, so disregarding face? They also hide a strong player, like Acitas. This kind of pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger. What are they for? An interlocking trap? Aokiji feels himself getting messy. I didn't expect that I was wrong from the beginning. And it's so wrong. This Lynn, what a terrific scheming. Boom! Lynn slash lit up half of the sky. Not only did it cut Aokiji so that it flew back, but the overflowing sword energy also shattered the big ice block that sealed the ark's motto. The tens of kilometers of sea surface that was originally frozen by ice now began to collapse rapidly after large cracks appeared. Lynn's sword is determined. Break through the 100 miles of ice in the Ice Age. Kazan Admiral. The Marines above the warship in the distance couldn't help shouting. It was the first time for them to see their own Kazan Admiral so embarrassed in front of the slash. Phew! After flying upside down for hundreds of meters, Aokiji finally stabilized his figure. At this time, most of his clothes had been destroyed by the sword energy, and he looked a bit embarrassed. And from the blood gushing out from the corner of his mouth, it can be known that his injury is worse than before. Lynn's shocking sword, although he blocked it, was still injured. For a while, even the hundreds of millions of viewers in front of the live broadcast were mostly silent. What about the majesty of Marine Admiral, the justice of King's Landing? Everyone has seen these things a lot in the media, but seeing Marine Admiral's embarrassment through the live broadcast is something that has not happened for many years. And this Lynn is not lying. His swordsmanship has reached the point where he can injure Marine Admiral with any slash. If Lynn didn't lie, then a new problem comes. Does his swordsmanship really exist in such a way that even the world's #1 swordsman, Eagle Eye, would scream out of shame when he saw it? For a while, the audience felt that their brains were not enough. Today's live broadcast was two ups and downs, subverting many people's original thinking. However, there were one or two people who rose up because of this incident. Even Mihawk dares to damage. This Lin is so funny. No, I, Wang Zhao. Have to call him as soon as possible. Sword idiots like Mihawk should be very interested in this freshly released top swordsman. On Red Force, the red-haired Shanks watched the live broadcast, couldn't help but slapped his legs and laughed, then immediately took out the phone bug that could contact Mihawk and happily called. But the next moment, the change in the live broadcast screen made his happy smile freeze. Mihawk didn't even notice that the phone bug was connected. The proverbs of the arc, a sword slashed Admiral Aokiji, and the aftermath shattered Lynn, who was dozens of miles away from the ice. But he was not happy at all. At this time, he became indifferent. He pointed his sword at Aokiji in the distance and said, "I, Lynn, am very polite to you, and I will say good things to you. If you Kazan is still not sensible, then don't blame me for being cruel. For the next slash, I may use my full strength, or I may use armament hockey to wrap around it. 099. Pretend to be a pig and eat a tiger that will go down in history. When Lynn no longer tied A. For the next slash, I may use my full strength, or I may use armament hockey to wrap around it." Lynn's words made all the audience go into an uproar. What the hell, the slash that slashed Aokiji just now was really just his random attack. Although there are reasons for Aokiji's huge energy consumption, the slash that can shake the void is truly a top-notch slash. Many swordsmen who aspire to be great swordsmen shed disappointing tears on the spot. There is such a big difference between people. The slash just now was already beyond my reach, but it was only at the level of someone else's casual slash. Drawing an A can break Aokiji Admiral's Ice Age. I believe your ghosts, you bad boy. That's right. If it was a Marine Admiral who was knocked into the air, I can believe a little of what he says. Is there a possibility? That is, Marine Admiral is not as strong as we imagined? Look at the Lynn pirates, the pirates who still didn't know where they were in the knot more than a month ago. Now they ran out. Another in turn, and Marine Admiral's score improved, and the captain killed Marine Admiral 053. Hey, I was shocked at first, but after hearing your explanation, I think it makes sense. Marine Admiral is very likely to have a false name, and he didn't boast so much. What are you guessing? You still have to question whether Marine Admiral is strong or not. That's a fact that many seniors have used their lives to prove. I think this may be a big conspiracy. Let us all feel that Marine Admiral is a conspiracy. Damn it, my brother is wise. At that moment, I really thought Marine was good. This Marine's conscience is really bad. Do you think Mihawk, the Eagle Eye, will find Lynn in anger when he hears what Lynn said? Wouldn't that be better? Anyway, Lynn now has the support of the World Economic Society and seems to be taking the internet celebrity route. But Mihawk finds Lynn. We must have a good show. This Lynn is ridiculously strong. If he doesn't brag, even if Mihawk is the world's #1 swordsman, I feel that Mihawk may not be able to win against him. Yeah, so I have to say, if Mihawk finds Lynn, or if Lynn finds Mihawk, the fight between the two will be the greatest blessing and fortune for our Kendo fans. I guess Mihawk isn't that boring. Looking for a word? Stop arguing. That what Aokiji seems to be angry. Hey, Lynn's words are too hurtful. I would have gone berserk. The climax of the audience is finally coming. Defeat Marine Admiral and become the Emperor of the Sea. Will we see it? Don't think about it. I've never seen anyone who achieved the title of Emperor of the Sea in the first half of the Grand Line. Those big pirates all went to New World to suppress a piece of sea area and fight for a future before they could ascend to the throne. However, among the 4 sea emperors, which one can be stronger than the current Lynn pirates? You're so insignificant. The water in New World is too deep. Not to mention Whitebeard, the strongest man in the world. Even the undead Kaido, they are obviously much stronger than this Lynn. Moreover, the red-haired shanks on the ceiling of the legendary Conqueror's Haki can also overwhelm this Lynn. Yeah, the power of the four emperors is all played out, not blown up. This Lynn has yet to be tested. Stop talking nonsense and watch it. What's so mysterious about Lynn's second cut? When our forest god no longer cuts flat, he /casually, /seriously, / with all your strength, and hold the knife with both hands to cut supernaturally. Could it be like this? Haha. No matter what, today's Lynn's wave of pretending to be pigs and eating tigers will definitely be recorded in history. Naval Headquarters Conference Hall. Also shocked by Beth, Lynn's shocking /. Even Ghost Spider Vice Admiral and Doberman Vice Admiral, who have extremely superb attainments in Kendo side, for a / of this level, even my Ghost Spider has to go all out to be able to slash it. And the success rate is not very high. This Lynn is already a top swordsman. In the entire Grand Line, there are no more than 10 top swordsmen. Among our Marine, there may be only one such top swordsman, and that is Palyasolino Admiral holding the Amazono sword. But he seems to be in his 20s. I'm really speechless. Among those famous top swordsmen, which one is not in their 40s or 50s to achieve the top name? This kid is too evil. If he continues to grow like this, he will definitely be the next One Piece. Marshal Sengoku, we must concentrate our efforts to annihilate him as soon as possible. Yes, don't hesitate anymore. Marshal Sengoku, his growth rate is really terrifying. Secondary, their trainee, Ace, can be evenly matched with Kazan Admiral. Plus that Tsunade, this is already a very advantageous royal team configuration. But everyone, can our naval headquarters really annihilate such a pirate group? Yeah, it can't be done without using 3 admirals at the same time. Now that the Revolutionary Army and the 4 emperors are about to move, how can we use the 3 admirals to fight a war of encirclement and annihilation? It's really a headache in a short period of time. He has grown so terrifyingly. Maybe he was playing tricks on us from the beginning. Damn, if justice is not enforced, it will only make me angry and irritable. After the shock was over, the conference hall was immediately like a vegetable market, full of discussions and noises. Boru boru bolu, but at this moment, the most important phone bug on Sengoku's desk rang. Sengoku silenced everyone and immediately connected the phone. Quite a while. Call Aokiji, turn off the stream, and get him back. Sengoku hung up the phone, held his forehead for a while, and made a difficult decision. What? Sengoku, are you stupid? This is broadcast live all over the world. Garp was a little taken aback. Yeah, shouldn't we wait for Kazan Admiral to take advantage of it before shutting it down? Let's forget it like this? Then we are too aggrieved. The rest of the Marine executives are also a little unclear. This is an order from above. Sengoku's face darkened. I'm afraid it's too late, that Lynn is going to do it. I'm afraid Kazan will be in trouble. At this time, Garp pointed to the changes in the live broadcast and said, 100, awakening level super large ice cage. Lynn said it was too low. What? Hearing this, Sengoku and others watched the live broadcast nervously, praying in their hearts, hoping that Aokiji would not lose too badly. I have to say, what a mental journey this is. From full of confidence at the beginning, to surprise, to incomprehension, then to shock and worry, and finally even praying nervously, pinning hope on the illusory gods. Thinking about this aspect, Sengoku couldn't help crying. Who knew that he would get into trouble with such a super evildoer? Had he known this, he would have let Lynn go to New World as soon as possible, to compete with the 4 Sea Emperors, and let the 4 Emperors have a headache. With Lynn's second cut, the entire conference hall fell silent. The second /, which was stronger than the previous /, made them, like Sengoku, worried about Aokiji, who obviously had no energy. Some Marine executives also yelled, "This Lynn is too despicable. Ordinary people fight against Kazan Admiral. What a villain!" Yes, even if Kazan Admiral loses this time, he still loses standing up. No shame. When the 2 admirals, Palyasolino and Sakazuki, come back. We Naval Headquarters will get back for today's venue. If Lynn is not an Impel down, I will never rest. Doberman Vice Admiral, do you want to play so big? Yes, Lynn is so strong. Sooner or later, he will be the 5th Emperor. Who can catch him then? I don't care. Under the attention of hundreds of millions of eyes, Lynn finally made the second strike. This slash, which was far more terrifying than last time, easily pierced through the thick ice walls erected by Aokiji with his frozen fruit ability and sent him flying tens of meters away again. Hateful. Ice Age. Aokiji landed on a large block of ice and got down on one knee with one hand in it. He's going to freeze the sea again and trap Lynn's ship. Although he knew that he would definitely lose this time, he still wanted to struggle. After all, he seems to be carrying a lot of things right now. Even if you want to lose, you must lose decently. Clang, clang, clang. As his ultimate move was launched again, the power of extreme cold surged. The blue sea water instantly solidified and turned white, and within a breath, the sea surface of dozens of miles was frozen again. Not only that, there are countless sharp ice edges as thick as water tanks, which are quickly condensed from the bottom of the sea or the sea surface, rushing towards Lynn's pirate ship one after another. At the same time, on every meter of ice surface for dozens of miles, there are such ice edges rushing up and extending continuously. In just 2 or 3 seconds, an Iceland made up of white ice edge forests was formed. The Ice Age, 10,000 edges facing the sky. And when the ice is about to pierce the proverb of the ark. What a dead-brained fellow! Lynn shook her head, stretched out her left hand, and pressed. Room. Earn. The light-clearing sphere cover of the operation space covers thousands of meters in an instant, covering the entire arc. As soon as the ice pierced into the clear light, the speed obviously slowed down. Ben! Lynn lifted the arc up tens of meters in one breath, turning it into a flying boat temporarily. Then let Ma Yin come over, leaning over and exhorting in her ear. And he himself, in the next second, teleported to the lower part of the arc. The black knife fell horizontally and vertically, and made a huge cross-cut towards dozens of sharp and cold swarms below. Boom! The violent sword energy raged in all directions, shattering the ice cubes and power in a radius of 1 mile below. Clear all the ice around the arc with one sword. However, Aokiji didn't stop there. Ice Age Ice Prison. At this time, he raised his right hand and shook it suddenly. And on the huge ice slabs with a height of more than 100 meters, there were smaller ice ridges extending in different directions, connecting all the huge ice ridges. Took. Gala Gala. In just a second or two, he created a black ice cage tens of miles in size and locked Lynn and Fangzhou firmly in it. In this mysterious ice cage, he used his awakened power zone. Layer upon layer of locks, layer upon layer, plus the indelible awakening power of freezing. He didn't believe that Lynn could break through this mysterious ice cage with a single sword. This move also emptied his remaining physical strength, causing him to sit slumped on the ice immediately, panting heavily. Boscarp is right. Although I am not as dependent on the fruit ability as Polysolino, I still have to put in less effort in the cultivation of physique. In extreme combat situations, my physical strength will obviously be insufficient. Only then did he recall the warning from his idol. Today I met an evenly matched opponent, and my physical strength is obviously stronger than the opponent. But after a hard fight, it is obvious that I will not be able to fight against a second opponent of the same level. Otherwise, the ice prison will be 10%. He can use extreme elementalization to integrate into the ice prison and use the advantage that is almost equal to teleportation to win the round. Not to mention that it can severely damage Lynn. But it is definitely not difficult to destroy that arc or capture some of Lynn's crew. If I had known this, I would have started to create an ice prison. I will use my strengths to the strongest. After I go back this time, I have to strengthen my physique and train my body to a higher level. He thought so in his heart. I have to say, the lesson you taught me today, Lynn, is so precious. Bayou asked for flowers. But just when his mind was wandering, there was a light sound that was so slight that it was almost imperceptible. Boom! In the next second, knowing that he was not good, he quickly turned his head to look, and his expression changed. The huge ice prison locked the words of the arc tightly, and the audience who thought Aokiji had lost the game was irretrievable, stunned again. Can it still be big? It is indeed the highest combat power of Marine. This mysterious ice cage is too spectacular. If you can use such a cage to catch me, I will definitely not resist. Forget it, you only have a bounty of 2.5 million. A Marine colonel can kill you, and you still need Admiral to catch you? That's it. Got Lynn's gang? I don't know if it's Aokiji's last ripple. How do I feel that the firmness of this cage will be amazing, and the composition will not be ordinary ice. TCH, I still can't trap Lynn. After all, his slash is so terrifying. That ace tried it, and he was able to cut through the blockage of more than 10 meters, but the ice prison was restored soon. Sure enough, it's not ordinary ice. Could it be Aokiji's fruit awakening power? Ace strength is about the same as this Aokiji. If even she can't break through this ice prison, then Lynn and the others will be doomed this time. Great Aokiji, the last blow was a success. End of the flowers. Lynn's journey of pirates. This is the end. And the next moment, with a thin gunshot, countless live broadcast screens turned black one after another, causing the enthusiastic audience to curse angrily. World government's live broadcast has been cut off. The phone bug in charge of the live broadcast was shot and killed by Ma Yin. Not only that, the bullet that killed the phone bug also brought energy that was more terrifying than a cannonball, blowing up half of the warship into flames. Fortunately, Morgan's side, that is, the live broadcast source on Lynn's ship, was fine, so a small number of people were able to continue watching. Kazan, you are so boring, and you have no imagination. You actually used your awakened power to come up with such a sleepy thing. It's a bit low. Oh no, it's very low. Very OW. I have to say, your pattern is far from my Acetus. Lynn held the black knife, Kushui tightly, and continued to speak loudly. Then, today I will let you experience the power of Lynn's full-strength strike. What kind of bullshit ice cage of yours? Even if you used a lot of awakening power to build it, and the strength and recovery power are extremely pervert, but in the face of the power of ultimate, it can only be as paperless.
No more novels? Take part in the voting. The most requested novels and those with the most likes will be chosen for publication on euroaudiobooks.com. There, I can upload as much as I want without the risk of receiving a strike. Our 18 novels and other content that exceed what is morally acceptable are only published on Patreon or the free novels page. Remember, the site is funded by donations on Ko-fi and Patreon memberships.